Good evening and a warm welcome to Owlerton Stadium here in Sheffield. Tonight the Tigers take on the Bellevue Aces and it has the potential to be another great night of Speedway. We were served up a treat 7 days ago at the National Speedway Stadium. Two sides tonight and there's plenty of Grand Prix stars amongst them. It includes a former world champion as well, so Dan Bewley. He's going well. Can he finish with the silverware? Jack Holder's currently in 5th. He can still fight for bronze. Brady Kurtz 3 points in 2nd behind Bartek. And there's your former world champion. 2012 he got the honours, and here's two superstars as well in Calvin Dayton and Scott Nichols.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Calv, it was a brilliant night 7 days ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want another great meeting. With those sorts of calibre of riders, we should be in for a good treat.
Well, yes, and the ingredients are here. The pieces of the jigsaw are certainly here. We've just seen one or two of the boys floating through. World-class riders on show here tonight in Sheffield, and I'd like to think that we'll have a real good dust-up. 2 new signings for the home team as well, so lots of interest in that, of course. But no, it's a really mouth-watering contest in prospect.
And it was, Scotty, 7 days ago at the National Speedway Stadium, but for the Aces, they're going to want to prove a point, bounce back after losing to table toppers Ipswich in a superheat.
Oh, definitely. I think especially this time of the season where it's getting to the nitty part of the season, playoffs are just round the corner, and I think Bellevue definitely, missing Jamin Liddy that night, but obviously we can see the race. I mean, what a fantastic race. I mean, 4 of the best riders in the world going at it, and Bellevue Stadium delivers all the time. But, to Witcher's credit, they did enough to secure that point, like you say, in that race off. And Bellevue will be dented. They'll be hurt by that. Brady Kurtz there at the back. It's unusual to see him there, especially at Bellevue. But, no, they'll be wanting to put a marker in the sand tonight and to show that they are the champions.
And there's great rivalry between these two teams.
Order of the Roses, yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to it. And the Bellevue Aces have won here previously and won the league title here. They clinched it here a couple of years ago. So I've got a feeling that tonight that the Bellevue Aces will want to bounce back, but this new look side from the Tigers, I sense they'll be very keen to go well. That loss to Leicester here really upset them. They didn't like that at all. They didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay, we can't wait already. But let's have a look at their Premiership standings and just see where we are. As Scotty said, as we get into the business end of the season, is Ipswich Witchers at the top, and they are the first club to secure their place in the playoffs. Bellevue Aces 2nd on 32 points, Leicester 3rd on 30, Sheffield 4th with 29 points, but they've got 2 meetings in hand. Outside the playoffs, Kingsland Stars, Oxford Spires and Birmingham Brummies. So let's turn our attention then more closely, Calv, to these two teams. Start with the visitors. Talk us through the team.
Yeah, well, the visitors, of course, they're the champions and they're desperately trying to hang on to it. And, of course, they're led beautifully by Brady Kurtz. Norbert Bladorn, they're the German at number 2. They've formed up nicely. Jamin Liddy is my man to watch tonight for the Bellevue Aces, back from injury. Zach Cook was my man last week, who rode fabulously well. Dan Bewley, those last couple of ice heats, 15 and the super heat, stunning performance from him. Tate Ziske, Jake Mulford down at reserve. They will need to go well here tonight, but Jamin Liddy is a solid rider, an Australian in the middle part of the team, the engine room of the team, and you've got to believe that if he starts well tonight, then that could well be an inspiring performance from Jamin here this evening. Another Australian, plenty of them here on show tonight.
There really is. And the home side then?
Jack Holder, an Australian. Funny enough, he leads the way, the Grand Prix star. Anders Rowe, a British rider at number 2, gaining an experience all the time. Josh Pickering, another Australian, captains the side. Nick Morris in, he's my man to watch. Back from an absence and looking to see how he goes this evening on his debut. Chris Holder, beautiful, he's riding great guns. Jai Etheridge is another new signing at number 6, and Leon Flint, who is without question a rider with lots of potential at number 7.
And he did particularly well when we were here last time, and he was your man to watch.
He was, and inspired him, of course, but Nick Morris, a brilliant opportunity for him to really establish himself back in British Speedway after a couple of years away, and he has lots of experience of riding in the UK, so he'll be nervous tonight, but he'll be hoping to go well.
And how is this team when you've got these kind of changes so late in the season? What impact does that have?
Well, they'll be hoping it's a positive one, of course, that's why they've done it, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But Nick Morris is well known to all the boys, and I think he'll slip into the team. He hit the ground running, he got 6 paid 9 in his first meeting. He rides for the Berwick Bandits in the 2nd division, so he got a big score there. So I think it could be quite an astute move.
Yeah. And the Aussies, like you said, there's so many of them. They stick together, and there's 5 in this home side, and that should help him slightly, shouldn't it?
Yeah, he's coming into that warm family, isn't he, away from home? So I'd like to think that he'll be well received, and they'll be really encouraging him to go well.
Cal, thank you very much.
Welcome.
It's that time of the night. It's the coin toss. It has to be the coin toss, Scotty. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Abby, and it is coin toss time, and I've had a little tap on the wrist, as per rule, 012.1.28. It has to be a coin toss, so I'm going to hand it on to you later on, Josh. But, Josh, Sheffield Tigers had to make changes earlier in the season due to injury to Ty, but ahead of the playoffs, you've now made changes. Clearly, the management going all out to get that title.
Yeah, mate, it is a shame that, I don't like to be a part of a team that's chopping and changing all the time, and I feel like if you've signed up originally, then, you should make it to the rest of the year, but we do want to win another trophy, and we were lacking in certain areas, and obviously it's not up to what I decide to do or stuff, but it is great that Moz is back in British Speedway, as well as Reggie getting his opportunity to ride for us again. Last time he done that, we won the league title in 2023, so hopefully he's the lucky charm we've been missing.
Well, let's see if it is the case. I'll come back to you in a minute. Brady, we witnessed an unbelievable meeting Monday against the Witches, but for the Aces it didn't go quite so well. What's that done to the teams that kind of made you want to roll your sleeves up? Clearly you're missing Jamin, but kind of go and prove to people that you are the champions.
Yeah, I think we'll just try and move on from it, really. Obviously, we were missing Jamin. He's a big part of our team, and yeah, we miss his performance for sure. And yeah, it was a tough one for us. Ipswich are a good team, and yeah, so are Sheffield. It's a tough place to come here, and we need to get a couple better results on the road, that's for sure, before the playoffs. So today will be a good one for us, and yeah, hopefully we can get in there a little bit.
Okay, mate. Well, I'm going to ask you to do the honours, Josh. If you flip and you call in the air, Brady.
Much luckier, did you?
Oh, well, there you go. I'm not doing it.
Tails.
Tails, and it comes down head. So, Josh, what's it going to be? Heat 1 or Heat 15? No pressure.
I was expecting to lose the toss, to be honest, but
I like the optimism.
Yeah, we'll go with Heat 1, 1 and 3, please.
Okay, mate. You two can shake hands. I'm going to stand back. Prevention better than cure. Abby, back to you.
Scotty, thank you. Well, the other Speedway meeting taking place tonight is at the Hydroscan Arena in Beaumont Park as Leicester hosts Oxford Spires. Here's Dave Rowe with the team news.
Well, Leicester are one of the form teams as we head towards the playoffs. 7 wins from 9 in the league. They've also enjoyed success in the Knockout Cup, and recent away wins at Sheffield and Kings Lynn have shown it's not just their home results, which it must be said have been very impressive. Their top 4 players could be confirmed tonight if they win here, but would they require Kings Lynn to trip up in their match at bottom club Birmingham? It's not been the season the Oxford Spires would have wanted. They should avoid the wooden spoon. Just 4 wins so far for them. Remarkably, all 4 of those results coming in victories home and away against Birmingham. Team news sees Leicester once again without Luke Becker. He made his comeback in Poland at the weekend, but still short of match fitness, so rider replacement tonight. They also have a change at number 4. Carl Howarth ruled out for family reasons, so Premiership guest booking for Steve Worrell, Frick, Douglas and Masters, all racking up big points for the Lions. And for Oxford, they have rider replacement for Eric Riss, who unfortunately still out with illness, and they're yet to see their new signing Victor Palavara, also due to illness. So as in their match at Ipswich last week, young Australian Mitch McDermott steps up from their championship side to guest. Here at the Hydroscan Arena, it's Leicester against Oxford.
Dave, thank you. Well, here at Owlerton, it's time to meet the riders, and joining Kelv in the hot seat this evening is Ollie Allen.
Yes, thanks very much, Abby. Looking forward to the evening as always. Jake Mulford comes out as the rising stars for the Bellevue Aces. Big night for the reserves for the Aces. They do need to hit the ground running this evening, and Mulford, well, he needs to get off to a good start this evening.
Number 6 for the Bellevue Aces is Tate Ziski, a young Australian rider, showing lots of potential, very enthusiastic in character, and Mark Lennon will be looking for lots of points from him tonight.
Indeed he will, Ollie. Dan Bewley rode fabulously well last week, riding yesterday, of course, in the Extra Liga for Wrocław, but his performances in Heat 15 and the Super Heat were outstanding, and Dan Bewley, once again, I'm sure we will be putting on quite a show for the Aces this evening.
Yeah, next up, Zach Cook for Bellevue, last week's rider of the night on fantastic form at Bellevue, and the 26-year-old Australian, very fast on his day. I think he'll like Sheffield.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Now, this is my man to watch for the evening, Jamin Lidsley for the Bellevue Aces. Missed out last week. He had a an accident in Poland and just felt a bit knocked about, but he's back and they're at full strength, and the Australian is a fast starter, and if he gets away to a good start this evening, I'm sure that Mark Lemon will be pleased with his efforts.
At number 2 for Belle Vue, Norik Bledorn, 21-year-old German. It's his 3rd year at Belle Vue, slowly improving year on year, and another one of those riders that Lemo will need a few points from tonight.
He'll be leaning on him. There's more potential, there's more to come from Norik Bledorn, and I don't think there's too much more to come from Brady Kurtz, because he is arguably the best rider in the world right now. He's just won the last 3 rounds of the World Championship. Kurtz leads the aces here. The champions are in town, and they want revenge from being turned over by the Ipswich Witches last weekend. So they are the visitors. Now let's have a look at the home team, Leon Flint, who got a paid maximum on our previous visit here at Owlerton, and he'll be looking to do something similar tonight. He's a rider that's had a few injury problems during the year, but he is beginning to find his form.
Yeah, number 6, Jai Etheridge. First one of the 2 new signings for Sheffield tonight, 30-year-old Australian. It's his 10th year in British Speedway, and very experienced rider here, and you can see why Simon's brought him in.
Well, Jai Etheridge previously rode for the Belle Vue Aces. I don't think that'll have too much bearing on this evening, but he'll be keen to go well. Now, this man is always going pretty well, 37 years of age now, former world champion Chris Holder, coming back into British Speedway, clearly enjoying himself, and he is very much a fan favourite here at Sheffield.
Nick Morris, second of the new signings for the Sheffield Tigers. He really has hit the ground running after a 2-year absence from the sport, and very exciting rider on his day, and could be a shrewd signing for Simon Stead.
It could very well be. He's my man to watch for the home team. Nick Morris, as you rightly say, Ollie, has plenty of experience of riding in the UK. Now, Josh Pickering, well, we know all about him. I've worked with him up here, and he has always plenty to say. He is he's one of those guys that just oozes confidence, and there's no doubt that he'll be putting his best foot forward. He never knows when he's beaten.
And number 2 for the Sheffield Tigers, Anders Rowe, young British rider. At our last visit here to Owlerton, he had a bit of a tough night, picked up an injury in his first ride, and he'll certainly be looking to show more of that good form he's been on this season so far.
And yet another Australian, can you believe it? Jack Holder leads the way. Grand Prix winner, Grand Prix star, 5th in the world right now, Jack Holder, going along nicely. And he leads this team with aplomb, there's no question about that. He is a genuine world-class performer. So they are the 2 teams. We go head-to-head very shortly. Just for the moment, while the boys are gathering by the pit gate, we will make our way back down to Abby, who is waiting for us.
Calvin, Ollie, thank you. There's a great atmosphere building in this stadium tonight. It's a balmy evening. There's great riders on show. We won a great meeting. We were treated to one 7 days ago. But this has all the ingredients for a fine match. When we come back, we'll be on with the action here in Sheffield. One of the world's leading speedway riders over the past 2 decades, 5 times Aussie champion, 2 times runner-up of the World Under-21 Championships and 2012. The ultimate prize, Speedway World Champion. There you are, Chris. Is it bringing back memories?
Yeah, it feels like yesterday. Oh, nah, it's obviously that was a great part of my career, and yeah, obviously extremely proud to have won it. And yeah, what can I say? It was great.
So, Chris, you've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt, and now if we're looking at the Grand Prix this year, there's 3 points separating the top 2 in the world at the moment, Brady Kurtz and Schmarzlik, with 2 rounds to go. As a fellow Aussie, what does Brady have to do to get it over the line?
Just continue doing what he's doing. He's been unreal this year, and I think even at the beginning of the year, you know, if they said you'd be in the shot with the world title, you probably wouldn't believe it. You know, you do the whole season, and obviously everybody wants to be world champion, but then, you know, now with 2 rounds to go, he's probably thinking, wow, I could probably win this thing. So looking forward to seeing how he goes.
And how does that change your mentality, though, Chris, when you suddenly go, actually, I really could win this world title in my debut season?
Yeah, to be honest, not much. You're just excited. Obviously, things are going well for him, and he's riding excellent, as we've all seen. And the pressures, to be honest, ain't on him. It's on Bart to, to hold his nerve and keep his crown. But I think it's more fun for Brady. It's like, either way he looks at it, he's going to end up with a medal on his first go, and the gold one's sitting there too. So I think he'd be quietly confident, and he'd be looking forward to it.
It's an amazing story. And in terms of the Aussie legacy, obviously yourself, Jason Crump before that, and then obviously Doyley in 2017 as well. And I know you're in Jack's corner, of course. But there was a moment, when you won your world title, and we're looking at Jason now, where, it was Crumpy that came over to you in Torren and was like, focus, this battle between you and Nicky Pedersen. Is there a situation where you or Doyley would actually go and have some words with Brady and give him what he needs to hear, because you guys know what it is to have those moments?
I don't know. He's beaten us at the moment quite easily, so I don't think any of my words are going to help him. But no, obviously he's a good friend of us, and he grew up racing with Jack, and I've seen him since they were on Junior Speedway. And yeah, just relax and just keep doing what you're doing, and don't listen to too many people, and you'll be fine.
Last question: do you think you can win?
Of course he can.
Chris, thank you so much. Welcome back to Owlerton Stadium here in Sheffield, where the Tigers host the Belle Vue Aces. It is the War of the Roses, and we're about to get underway with Heat 1. Your commentators this evening, Ollie Allen, and first, Calvin Tatum.
Thank you very much, Abby. Yes, a big night in prospect. It always is when these two teams go head-to-head. The War of the Roses, absolutely right. And there have been some classic encounters in the last few years. There's no doubt about that. Belle Vue Aces will be just licking their wounds a touch after that dramatic conclusion when we were at the National Speedway Stadium last week, of course, when the Ipswich Witches just about came out on top with that superheat result. But nonetheless, it was a fabulous night of Speedway once again in Manchester. Will we see something similar tonight? Well, we certainly hope so. The riders are making their way forward. The home team have won the coin toss. They will take gates 1 and 3 in the opening heat here in Sheffield. So the line-up for the first race of the evening. Heat number 1, Anders Rowe will be coming from the inside gate in the blue helmet colour. Norrit Bladorn, gate number 2 in yellow. Jack Holder, gate 3 in red, and Brady Kurtz off the outside in the white helmet colour. Now, unbelievably, Brady Kurtz dropped points last week, and I tell you what, he got beaten by Dan Thompson. Now, I just suggest he hasn't been beaten by a reserve at the National Speedway Stadium for some considerable time. He'll be really wanting to go well tonight.
He will indeed. I mean, that will have stung him, no doubt. I mean, the form he's on at the moment, he wouldn't have expected it.
No, absolutely not, but he rode very well yesterday for Roslav in the extra leader, winning races. They beat Torren quite convincingly, actually, so both Bewley and Kurtz going well for their Polish club 24 hours ago. But Simon Stead looking on. But tonight it's all about a Premiership live on TNT. Here we go, about to get on with the action. Green light is on now, tapes are out and we're away. We're charging into the first turn. Anders Rowe makes a lovely start. Jack Holder just not able to resist the charge of Brady Kurtz, who is charging around the outside. Anders Rowe holding firm at this very early stage. Kurtz trying to get the better of the young Englishman. They're neck and neck. The fair play to Anders Rowe. He stood firm. He wasn't intimidated, and he's pulling away in front now.
Yeah, tight first lap there between Rowe and Kurtz. Like you said, Rowe held his ground. He's holding that inside line. Always the place to be early on in the meeting here at Sheffield. Brady Kurtz now giving up on that first spot. He's tucked into second, and Jack Holder in third at the moment.
He's got pace in third place, but this first race, it's all about going around the inside. We're into the last lap. Holder's looking very dangerous in third place. Anders Rowe is ridden beautifully out in front. The young English guy is looking terrific here. This is quite a fitter in his cab. At the inside gate, made a lovely reaction. Bike power to the first corner. And the Sheffield point advantage, 4 points to 2. And I've got to credit that young man there, Anders Rowe. Not only did he come under pressure from one of the, arguably the best rider in the world right now, he actually stretched away out in front. Encouraging performance from Rowe in heat number 1. Jack Holder came on strong in 3rd place, but Kurtz was there. Rowe out in front, smashing ride from him, 3 points out in front. Kurtz back in 2nd place, 2 points. Jack Holder in 3rd, 1 point for him, and Norik Bladorn misses out in heat number 1. We're up and away, and this is some ride from the man in the blue helmet colour.
Yeah, keep your eye on Anders Rowe in the blue helmet on the inside there. He makes a good start from gate 1. Brady Kurtz is trying to get around him from gate 4, but what I like about Anders here is he doesn't get sucked into battling with Brady too much. He keeps calm, he keeps riding that inside line, keeps smooth, and eventually pulls away into the lead. Here we see again Anders from the inside. He knows what he's doing, he's done it before here at Owlerton. He rides that tight line around the first bend. Like I said, he doesn't get too drawn into battling with Brady, he doesn't try to take him out, rides his own race, and eventually his speed sort of pulled him clear. So very good ride by Anders Rowe.
That was the crucial moment when Kurtz was sort of trying to put some pressure on around the outside. He didn't then react to it, did he? He was he remained committed to his line, and that paid dividends. So the home team off to a 4-2, slender lead of 2 points after one race here tonight. Heat number 2 riders beginning to make their way out. Now, slightly nervy moment for Jai Etheridge, as you say. He's been around for a decade, but that's nonetheless, when you get a new team and your first ride for a new team in front of the home audience, you're going to feel it a little bit, aren't you?
If you don't, you probably shouldn't be doing it. I think that's part of it. You know, if you don't have those nerves and that excitement, then maybe you're not that up for it. So, yeah.
A bit of gardening on the tapes there from the Belle Vue Aces. They'll be hoping to get off to a flying start here in heat number 2. So line up for heat number 2. We've got Tate Ziski, the Australian, on the inside in the white helmet colour. Jai Etheridge, another Australian, coming out of gate number 2 in red. Jake Mulford, he's an English rider. That's good. He comes out of gate number 3 in yellow. And Leon Flint, another British rider, going from the outside in the blue helmet colour. Now, when we were here previously, Ollie, Leon Flint, coming back from injury, got a paid maximum.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the home team will be delighted if he can produce something similar. He made fabulous starts that particular evening.
He really did, and he's going to need one here from gate 4 in heat 2. But yeah, his form has been good across the leagues, across Europe, so he'll be looking to continue that form into the playoffs.
So 2 new signings here tonight for the home team. The Sheffield Tigers in Nick Morris and Jai Etheridge, all in their new Kevlar suits, all sorted out, so they look very much part and parcel of the outfit. Here we go then, heat number 2. Green light comes on now, tapes are up, and away we go. It's tight into the first corner. Etheridge has made a good start over gate 2, but an even better one round the outside from the man, Leon Flynn. Jet propelled once again from gate number 4. Flint has hit the front. Got to say, it's a good effort from Jake Mulford to come through into 2nd place for the Aces, and Etheridge has been relegated to 3rd. But how about that start from Flint from gate 4?
Yeah, another fantastic start from Leon Flint here. It's what we're getting used to here on TNT at Sheffield, and he's stretching his lead out in front. Clever first bend from Jake Mulford. He managed to get around the outside of the other two riders and secure that 2nd spot. He's now having a little look over his shoulder, but at the moment it's looking like a comfortable 4-2 to the Sheffield Tigers.
Indeed it is. Strong start from the home team in the first 2 rides. Leon Flynn just a little untidy through that last corner, but has a sneaky look over his left shoulder. It's all under control because Mulford is not really threatening in 2nd place. Smashing ride from Flynn. Got to say, that was a fine effort, particularly when you consider it came from a long way from gate 4 early on here with all the grip on the inside. Jet propelled he was. Mulford riding strongly in 2nd place as well. But the home team, with 2 consecutive 4-2s, now have a 4-point lead after a couple of races here this evening. So Leon Flint, nice ride, 3 points out in front. Jake Mulford back in 2nd place, 2 points, 1 point for the debutante Jai Etheridge, and Tate Ziski misses out in heat number 2. Home team has started well tonight, Ollie.
Yeah, very well. All eyes here on Leon Flint, blue helmet colour, gate 4, drops the clutch, the bike hooks up all the way to the first bend, just what you want. He doesn't bother coming to the inside, he stays in that dirt mid-track. Jake Mulford though, clever first bend from him to get around the outside of the other two boys and secure that second spot. Leon Flint, here we see again from gate 4, bike lifts, feathers the clutch all the way to the first bend. One thing on his mind, he's going to run that back wheel into the heavier dirt mid part of the track. Jake Mulford follows suit and gets into second place, and a good ride from Jake Mulford. It's
encouraging.
Yeah, it was encouraging. Yeah, with a long track background, you'd expect these sort of tracks to suit him. So hopefully more of the same from him.
So the Tigers on to 8 points after a couple of rides. Can the Bellevue Aces respond here in heat number 3? We have another debutant for the home team in heat number 3 with Nick Morris. Morris and Australia. I've just counted them up actually. There are 8 Australians here on show this evening. So huge representation from down under here tonight in Sheffield. Nick Morris, number 4 on his back. He'll be a touch nervous, no question about that, but he's had a couple of meetings. He's ridden for the Tigers already, picked up 6 and 3 bonus points, and he rides for the Berwick Bandits in the championship as well. Can't remember exactly what he got, but I know he got double figures, so he'll be beginning to just loosen up and feel his way back into the sport. Heat number 3, the lineup is Nick Morris on the inside in the blue helmet colour. Jamin Lidsey, he'll start from gate number 2 in white. Josh Pickering, gate 3 in red, and Zach Cook from the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Now this is very much an Australian shootout. 4 Australians going head-to-head, and a very attractive lineup it is, because there's no doubt that this could be quite a duster. Yeah. 2 riders on the inside 2 gates are the men to watch this evening as well. So can Morris have a dream start to his new career here for the Sheffield Tigers with a win in heat number 3? Would be great if he could. No doubt about that. He'll be feeling a touch nervous. He's had a couple of years away. There's no doubt that he'll be keen to get off to a fast start.
And I think with the TV cameras here as well, it adds to it as well. So a little bit of extra nerves for him.
Get these 4 laps out of the way and he'll settle down and he can breathe again. There we go. Here we go then, heat number 3. Good showing from the home team so far with 2 heat advantages and heats number 1 and 2. Heat number 3. And we are away, and a brilliant start from Lidsey. Absolutely fabulous start from Jamin Lidsey. Nick Morris coming through into second place, but relegated to third by his teammate down the back straight. Josh Pickering coming round the outside of Nick Morris, but Lidsey's in front, looking good. The 3 orders, a shared heat at this stage. Now Lidsey, with Pickering behind him, you can never relax.
No, what a start from Jamin Lidsey, textbook from him. He's riding a nice, smooth, mid-track line, but like you say, Josh Pickering will not give up. He's absolutely ringing the throttle into the first bend there. He's not going to give up until the very end. Lidsey knows that, but Lidsey looks comfortable in front, looks smooth, looks fast.
Yeah, quality rider. I like the way he rides the bike, and he's got away well, and that is encouraging for him and the team. Zach Cook has responded after a disappointing first couple of laps. Morris just a little untidy in third place, but he should just about hang on. Lidsey's winning it comfortably. Lovely ride from him. Shared race, so the 4-point margin is remained, but there's no question that Lidsey has got off to a terrific start tonight. He's got a particular style when he drops the clutch. He sort of sits quite upright and sort of sits back into the bike to try and get it to drive forward, and it worked a treat there in heat number 3. Lidsey out in front, 3 points for him. Josh Pickering back in second place, 2 points. Nick Morris, 1 point in third, and Zach Cook fails to score in heat number 3. Shared heat, 3 all, 11 points to 7.
Yeah, great reaction from Lidsey there. Oh, actually, this is the wrong race. This is heat 2, I believe. We'll have another look though. Great start from Leon Flint.
Well, Leon Flint's start from gate number 4 was worth looking at again.
Yeah, very good, yeah.
But it was a smashing ride, no question about it, from Jamin Lidsey on his return to the Bellevue Aces with injury last time out. We've got Zach Cook making away.
Here we go. Lidsey, white helmet, gate 2.
Yeah.
Brilliant start. Like you said, quite upright in the bike, almost Thomas Golob sort of style on the way to the first bend. He knows where to ride, he knows where he's going. He runs out to that mid-track, sort of heavier part of the track, and Yeah, I think he knows he's against Josh Pickering. He knows he's got to do 4 quick laps. He can't let off the gas after a couple, and he does that. He rides smooth out in front. He's on the fast part of the track, and really Josh Pickering has no answer for him, despite, as usual, maximum effort from the Australian. But Nick Morris slightly untidy in third, but still he'll be happy to get some points on the board.
Just had a message from Ian Brannan, who has informed me that Nick Morris scored 13 and a bonus for the Berwick Bandits at the weekend. So thanks very much, Ian. But certainly that is an encouraging sign. He picks up a paid second place for his first run out here this evening, and I'm sure he'll just sort of have a bit of a deep breath and relax and crack on this evening. We'll see him once again in heat number 5. Heat number 4 now. We'll see Chris Holder for the first time tonight, and Dan Bewley, who was electrifying at the back end of the meeting at the National Speedway Stadium last week, really did turn on the style. He is a sight to behold. We were lucky enough to be there, Ollie, and the way he can run the corners and carry the speed through the corners, not many riders can do that.
Nope. Not at that level. I mean, that was an athlete at the very top of his game.
Indeed it was. Leon Flint just getting himself prepared. Not too long before he was a fine winner of heat number 2, of course. Not too much time to knock his bike back into shape for heat number 4. So Holder and Flint makes his way forward to the start line now. Line up heat number 4. We've got Leon Flint. He's already run a race tonight. 3 points to his name. Jake Mulford, good ride from him as well. Gate 2 in yellow, gate 3 in red is Chris Holder, and Dan Bewley from the outside in the white helmet colour. Now this is quite a stern test here for Chris Holder, because there's no question that Bewley is quite a tough customer. He will love and relish the raw around the outside and the dirt, and we've already, where we are, we're actually in just on the entrance to the first turn. We can look down on the first and second corner, and there's already dirt there for him to exploit.
Yeah, Dan Bewley will be on the start line at the moment, and he'll probably be visualising getting to that part of the corner. He'll know where he wants to be, and in Chris Holder's mind, he's thinking, I've got to stop him, because if Dan Bewley hits the front, you don't catch him.
Simon Stead looking on, will be pleased with the way his team has started this evening with a 4-point advantage over the Bellevue Aces, the champions. Here we go then. Tapes are up sharply, and we're into the first turn. Leon Flint, once again, an electrifying start from the inside gate. Here comes Holder around the outside of him. And I tell you what, the Sheffield Tigers have started like a house on fire here. Leon Flint now coming under a lot of pressure from Dan Bewley, who's back in third place. Holder hits the front, smashing ride from the former world champion. Bewley coming on strong. Is he going to get the better of Flint? Yes, he does.
Oh, excellent start for the Sheffield boys, Leon Flint in particular, but Dan Bewley hunts him down, cuts back coming off turn 2, forces his way up the inside and immediately sets sail after Chris Holder, and he's gaining ground on him already.
Bewley's looking threatening. He's closed in rapidly on Chris Holder. He's in the dirt. We've got just under a lap to go. Holder now beginning to come under another pressure from the man who sits 4th in the World Championship, the former world champion. Oh my goodness, at the back they're a little bit untidy. Mulford having a real go. There's 2 races here in one, but Holder hangs on. Bewley came from nowhere. Gotta say, Leon Flint just about hanging on in the end, with Mulford and Flint actually getting quite excited on the last lap there. But Chris Holder, with that move early on in the race around the outside, does the business. And once again, the Tigers are hanging tough here in the first 4 races, going along very nicely indeed. Holder out in front, 3 points for him. Dan Bewley back in second place, 2 points for him. 1 point for Leon Flint in third, and Jake Mulford misses out in heat number 4. 15 points to 9, smashing start for the home team. They're looking good so far.
Yeah, if you watch Leon Flint with another electric start from gate 1, second of the night for him. He moves out to mid-track, has a little peek there, sees Chris Holder on the outside, does the right thing, lets his teammate round him, and now the battle's between Bewley and Flint. Bewley has a little look up the inside here on turns 3 and 4, and now Dan Bewley, you'll see him, he runs in a little bit deeper than Leon Flint, out into the outside line, turns back and lines up a bit of a straight earlier than Leon Flint, and dives up the inside into turn 3. And here you see Chris Holder, former world champion, enjoying himself out in front.
Smashing ride from Chris Holder out in front, no question about that. But Scotty's made his way out onto the track. Scotty. down to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kelv. I'm down on turns 3 and 4, and the tractor's just come around to try and pull that dirt back down. But you can see there's some sort of lighter bits coming up where I spoke to James Lidge earlier, and he said there's some dry bits coming up, and saw a few of the boys there getting a little bit out of shape, but it's actually getting really quite deep on the outside. So just setting up for later on in the show, the boys are going to move out here and it gets exceptionally deep out here. So watch your body language where they're really up the front of the bike coming in, because it kind of sucks you in. Saw Dan Bewley riding exceptionally well there. So yeah, just keeping on this dirt line. It's deceptive because when you walk the track earlier, they don't really rip the track much at all, but it just seems to generate this material from everywhere. So I'm going to let the tractor guy do his bit. I'm going to move before I get run over by him, and over to you, Abby.
Scotty, thank you. The hashtag this evening is She-Belle, and I've got some of your questions from last week that I'll roll over and ask Scott at the end of the programme. But She-Belle is a hashtag for all your questions to Scotty, unless, of course, we go to another superheat. That would be great. Join us for more Speedway action here in Sheffield after this.
And welcome to our coverage from the Hydro-Scanned Arena, Beaumont Park. Leicester against Oxford in the Premiership, and Heat 1 gets underway with a tight first bend. Sam Masters in blue getting out there, but round the outside in yellow goes Matt Ionowski for the Oxford Spies, and Max Frick in third place. So Ionowski out in front in the opening race. Masters taking the rider replacement ride for Luke Becker in second. Frick in third, who very rarely drops points around this circuit, and Charles Wright out the back. Well, Ionowski got a nightmare meeting here a month or so ago. Could hardly beat a Leicester rider in that meeting. Is now heading two of the Leicester big guns in the opening race. He leads on to his third lap. Masters in second place, Max Frick in third, and Max Frick unusually in third place around this circuit, and looks like being a shared heat here in the opener as Ionowski race leads into bends 3 and 4 for the third time. Masters a bit wider up on the turn now, tries to turn back. He's gaining ground here with a lap to go. Sam Masters right up behind Matt Ionowski now. Ionowski rides defensive on the inside, and Sam Masters goes right round the outside. Super ride by Sam Masters in the opening race to get round Matt Ionowski, and that will be a race victory for the Leicester Lions in the opening race as Masters takes the flag over Ionowski in second place, Max Frick in third. Leicester opening up with a 4-2. Well, heat number 2 saw a fast start from the rider in red, Drew Kemp, on his 23rd birthday, and round the outside in blue, his teammate Joe Thompson going past Peter Kilderman in the early stages with Luke Killeen out the back. So Leicester on a 5-1 on the opening lap, but watch out for Kilderman here in white, looking to make an inside move on Joe Thompson. Thompson covering off into the second lap, but Peter Kilderman gets a good line there off the second bend to go inside Joe Thompson and come through into second place. He certainly can't catch Drew Kemp, and that is another 4-2 to the Leicester Lions. Heat 3 was restarted. Steve Worrell, the Leicester guest, came to grief up on the third and fourth bend, spun out of contention and was disqualified. He is perfectly okay and will be continuing in the meeting. So that meant that Ryan Douglas went by himself in the restart against Matt Ionowski and Mitch McDermott, and Douglas, who was leading at the time of the initial stoppage, taking control second time of asking as well, leading Ionowski around the third and fourth bends here in control on race number 3 for a shared heat. Leicester certainly racking up the race wins in the early part of the meeting, and in heat 4 Sam Masters striking form once more. Decent start by Luke Killeen, the rising star for the Oxford Spires in yellow, but he lifts off bend 2. Down the outside goes Sam Masters into the lead, and Rowan Tungate now going second, with Killeen holding on for a decent third place there over Joe Thompson. So Leicester in a meeting they would certainly expect to win, bearing in mind their home form in recent weeks and their position in the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership table, have made a solid enough start here as race wins in the first 4 heats, and they lead after 4. It is Leicester 14, Oxford 10.
Welcome back to Sheffield. So the Tigers have got off to a cracking start. After 4 heats, it is 15-9 to the home side. There's more speedway happening around the country. Let's head to Leicester and get the latest from Dave Rowe.
Well, Max Janowski leading the opening race for the Oxford Spires at Beaumont Park, and Max Frick in red doesn't drop too many points around this circuit. In fact, it's Sam Masters in blue doing the chasing in the early part of this meeting. Leicester going strong in the first race to find a replacement for Luke Becker, but Janowski actually had an awful meeting at Leicester just a month or so ago, and he led the first race for 3.5 laps until Sam Masters made this move around the outside of the second bend to hit the front, but Janowski is still hanging on for second place in front of Max Frick. So a fourth opening there for Leicester, who have dominated the early race wins in this meeting. They did lose their guest Steve Worrell in Heat 3 for a crash on the third bend when he fell. Thankfully he's up and okay and continuing in the meeting, so it meant that Ryan Douglas went by himself in the restart when he got the better of Janowski in the early stages ahead of Mitch McDermott in third place, and then Sam Masters adding a win in Heat 4 to go along with one from Drew Kemp in Heat 2. So Leicester in control here with 4 heats gone. It's Leicester 14, Oxford 10.
Dave, thank you. Well, there's more motorsport to enjoy this weekend. Fast and Furious racing from the 13th round of MotoGP. The world's best riders will lock horns at the famous Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, with leader Marc Marquez looking for a 6th Grand Prix win in a row. That's live this Sunday from 12:15. And we're live here in Owlerton, and it's time to go racing again. Heat 5, can the aces bounce back? Over to you, Calvin Ollie.
They'll be hoping so, Abby, and this is the big one. Don't worry about the MotoGP, this is the big one tonight. But they do need to bounce back, the Belle Vue aces. Brady Kurtz, who finished second in his first one, Bledon failing to score. They've got gates 1 and 3 here this time. They'll be hoping to try and utilise that if they can, but they're up against a couple of riders from the home team that will be very keen to deny them if they can, Pickering and Morris. Morris will be hopefully a little more relaxed this time for heat number 5. So the line-up for heat number 5, we've got Norbert Bledon, who needs a point or two. He goes from the inside in the yellow helmet colour. Just Pickering out of gate number 2 in red. Gate 3 in white is Brady Kurtz, and Nick Morris will go from the outside in the blue helmet colour. Kurtz, well, pretty reliable. You've got to believe that he's going to be in the big points this time. Norbert Bledon needs to join him, needs to make a smashing start from the inside for the aces to bounce back, because right now the Tigers are in charge.
They are indeed, and it's a solid pairing for the Sheffield Tigers, this one. Morris and Pickering, both a couple of hard charges, and they won't give you any points for free.
No, they won't. They won't be handing them out like sweets, that's for sure. They'll make you earn your points. Morris, who picked up a paid second place in heat number 3, back out in heat number 5 with Pickering. Pickering, as I say, he'll be keen to try and get the better of Kurtz here. Here we go then. Heat number 5 tapes her up, and we're racing towards the first turn. Pickering makes a lovely start. He gets there out of gate number 2. Around the outside is Morris. Fantastic first corner from Nick Morris. He then slips around the outside of his teammates now. This was certainly now Kurtz is going to have to work very hard indeed. He comes charging up the inside, takes Pickering by surprise. Kurtz has come from nowhere. Pickering trying to respond, but Kurtz splits the Tigers.
What a first corner from Nick Morris to take the lead. Oh, Pickering now up the inside of Kurtz. Kurtz cuts back, and he's coming up the inside of Pickering again. Morris leading the way. You get the impression Kurtz has got more speed than him, but isn't quite sure where to ride. He's got Pickering all over him at the moment.
Fabulous lap of speedway between the two Australian riders in second and third. Nick Morris on his return to the Sheffield Tigers. Fabulous first turn. They're queuing up behind him. Don't look back, Nick, because there's all sorts of action going on. There's the last blast around the outside. Here comes Pickering. It's out in front. It's time. Oh, crikey. Which way did it go? Kurtz came up the inside. Was very, very close. At the conclusion, is there a reaction? Got to say, that was some tear up in heat number 5. Let's see it again, Ollie.
Here we see
Get the feeling Kurtz might have just stolen it.
He has. Kurtz has snuck that on the line.
Wow. What a ride.
Yeah, great ride there from Brady Kurtz.
Fantastic ride from Brady Kurtz. He got beaten up a couple of times during the race, but he wasn't ruffled. Maintained fabulous composure coming off that last corner. And for the first time this evening, we have seen a proper speedway race. There's no doubt about that. Kurtz wins. What a ride. 3 points for him. Nick Morris back in second place. 2 points for him. Encouraging signs for Morris. Josh Pickering back in third. He played his part. 1 point for him. And Norwich Dawn, for the second time this evening, has failed to score, but you could not take your eyes off heat number 5.
No, it was an excellent race from start to finish. The Tigers boys make an excellent start. Pickering keeps it low on the first bend, has a look for his teammate, and Nick Morris joins him at the front, sweeps around the outside into the lead, and from then on, it was a dogfight between Pickering and Kurtz. You see Kurtz here in third at the moment in the white helmet colour. He sort of sets Pickering up here. He comes in wide, turns back, forces his way up the inside of Pickering to get into second, but you got the impression that every time Brady moved into second, he then ran into a bit of traffic behind Nick Morris and was caught between defending and attacking, really. I'm not sure if this is the last bend, maybe it is, yeah. Brady Kurtz up the inside, coming off turn 4, just gets it on the line. Fantastic ride by him.
Yeah, that was a special ride from Brady Kurtz, who's in the form of his life, and he needed it. The Bellevue Aces needed it, because it would have been a heat advantage once again for the Tigers, and they would have stretched their lead. It's maintained at 6 points at this stage as we move towards heat number 6, 18 points to 12. We are in tactical territory, but there's no doubt that Mark Lemon is keeping his powder dry when it comes to that. No changes that we are aware of so far, and riders coming out fundamentally for their second ride here in heat number 6, looking down from the heavens, from the drone, onto this famous track, historic track here in Sheffield. Line up heat number 6. Jack Holder looking for better this time. He's coming out of gate number 1 in red. Dan Bewley, good dust up here between the two Grand Prix riders in gates 1 and 2. Bewley's in gate 2 in white. Anders Rowe, what a ride he had first time out, gate 3 in blue, and takes Ziski from the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Bewley will be keen to try and get to the front. He very nearly did. Came from a country mile back. It's incredible how much speed he generated so very quickly. But Jack Holder, he won't want Bewley to get the better of him here at home, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. And Dan Bewley is one of those riders, we've said it before tonight, if you give him fresh air, you'll do well to catch him, and Jack will know that. He'll be keen to make a good start here from gate 1.
Indeed he will. Just missed out in his first ride. He got a 3rd place with Anders Rowe, who made full use of the inside gate beautifully. Rode very strongly in the first race to get the better of Brady Kurtz, who put him under a lot of pressure, but Kurtz got the better of the opposition in fine style in heat number 5. Heat number 6 has got a bit to live up to, in truth. It was action-packed throughout the 4 laps. Here we go then. Heat number 6, green light is on now. Tapes are up and we're racing, charging into the first turn. Bewley making a lovely start. Got to say that's a fantastic effort from Tate Ziski from the outside, but is he going to get the better of Jack Holder? Not quite. Holder's done well there to get back up the inside, but the Bellevue Aces are trying to switch to the inside. Bewley now through into his 2nd place. Rowers at the back. Great battle out in front. Which way is it going to go?
Great lap there from Jack Holder to quickly pinch the lead from Tate Ziski. He's now got in front and he's stolen a march. Dan Bewley quickly followed him through into 2nd place, and he's matching Holder for pace, but if Holder keeps riding there, then I don't see Bewley catching him or making any ground at all, really. Race quite spread out now.
Jack Holder is riding exactly where Bewley wants to be. And you've got to say that Holder realised, drama there for Ziski, all sorts of trouble. Looks like a chain has come off the bike, and he's packed up at the back. That hands the heat advantage to the Tigers. They'll stretch their lead. Great ride from Jack Holder. He'll be pleased with that. It's always a little bit of a contest, of course, when Grand Prix riders go head-to-head in the league racing. No question, particularly when you're at home. And Jack Holder makes a great fist of it there in heat number 6. Bad luck for Ziski. Looked like a chain. We saw some sparks flying off the back of the bike. May well be the front chain, the primary chain that may have given up the ghost in heat number 6. We'll wait and find out, but as a consequence, it's good news for the home team, because they gained a 4-2, and they will be able to stretch their lead. Well, they have stretched their lead to 8 points after 6 races tonight. Let's watch it again.
Keep your eye on Ziski here in the yellow helmet. He surprises everyone and makes a fantastic start from gate 4, and actually does his teammate no favours. I think Bewley was thinking, I'm going to head out to the dirt. When he got to the first bend, his teammate was there, so there wasn't really a lot he could do. Jack Holder, he made short work of Ziski to move into first place. Here we see again the battle between the big guns going into the first bend. Bewley's there slightly ahead of Holder, but his teammates sort of in the way, got nowhere to go. Holder here now in the red helmet dives up the inside of Ziski and takes that lead, parks it in front of him and says, that's my place right there. And Dan Bewley tucks into second, but after this, once Jack Holder got onto the outside line, looked really fast out in front, really composed and stretched his lead.
So there's the result. Jack Holder 3 points out in front. Dan Bewley with a strong ride back in second place. 2 points. Anders Rowe in third. 1 point for him. And the luckless Tate Ziski, who was in front momentarily initially, failed to score with a mechanical issue in heat number 6. 22 points to 14. 8 points is the lead. The home team are in a strong position as we approach the midway point. Will it be a little bit like last week, but where the visitors this time can battle back right back into it? But you have to say the champions are up against it here a touch. No changes, I think, so far from Mark Lemon. He's got a good pairing here in heat number 7. Cook, who was dynamite last week, and Litzy, who has started strongly with a win in his first ride. But they need to combine. They need a heat advantage to try and reduce the deficit. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night for the champions if they can't. So another good-looking lineup here. Heat number 7. And we've got Jamin Litzy, who won well in his first ride, looked fast. He's on the inside gate in the white helmet colour. Chris Holder likewise with a nice ride. He won his first ride. Gate 2 in red. Zach Cook looking for his first points of the evening. Gate 3 in yellow, and Jai Etheridge picked up a point first time out. And he's on gate number 4 in blue helmet colour. Now, the Bellevue Aces look like they could be in the driving seat here. Potentially on paper, a stronger pairing in Cook and Litzy over Holder and Etheridge. Holder, the experienced former world champion, won nicely. Jai Etheridge possibly the weak link, but hey, Speedway, anything can happen. Your thoughts, Ollie?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Chris Holder, there's a lot of weight on his shoulders in this race, and there's no doubt Simon will have asked him to go out and win this race, and at the very least get a 3-3 here. But it's going to be difficult. Jamie Lidsy's an excellent trapper. He's got gate 1. It's going to be a big battle between Holder and Lidzy going into that first bend, I think.
Indeed there will be. Litzy, who is a rider that I think that hasn't quite fulfilled his potential. He's been around a while now, but he looks really good and very accomplished on the bike when he's in full flow. Here we go then, heat number 7. And the tapes are up, and Chris Holder's made a beautiful start out of gate 2. Textbook stuff from him, straight across the first corner. You can't do it better than that. That is absolutely out of the top drawer. Chris Holder, masterclass from him on the first half of the lap in heat number 7, excuse me. Litzy's come through in the second place with Zach Cook amongst the points for the first time. But how about that from Holder? That was a great start.
Yeah, fantastic start from gate 2 from Chris Holder. Taught his young Australian compatriot a lesson there into the first bend. Excellent start, excellent first corner, and he's riding a smooth outside line and stretching his lead. And 3-3 here on the cards for Sheffield. And in all honesty, Simon Stead probably best he could hope for.
Yep, good stuff for the home team. Not enough for the Aces. They had a strong pairing. Etheridge is at the back working hard, but can't quite make an impact on Zach Cook. But Chris Holder, smashing away from the start, has not put a wheel wrong. That was an absolutely immaculate ride from Chris Holder. He wasn't under too much pressure, but he did all the hard work in the first corner. Be interesting to see what your thoughts are on it as well, Ollie, when we see it again. But for Holder, absolutely at his very best there in heat number 7. Lovely ride from him. And in truth, there was no catching him. And as well as Litzy had ridden in his first ride, no answer for the 2012 world champion in heat number 7. Holder, lovely ride, 3 points out in front, 2 points for Jamin Litzy in second place, 1 point for Zach Cook in third, and Jai Etheridge misses out in heat number 7. And yeah, let's watch this again, because for all you people at home, I would suggest this is exactly how you do it.
It is. Red helmet here, Chris Holder drops the clutch, the bike hooks up all the way to the first bend, has a quick look over his shoulder, make sure his teammate's not there. When he knows that he's not and he's got a clear run, he runs straight for that heavier, deeper dirt on the outside of the track, and from then on he stretches his lead. Here we go again, drops the clutch, bike front wheel in the air, finger on the clutch, feathering all the way to the first corner. Absolutely textbook stuff. And 10 bike lengths clear by the time he goes into turn 3. Vintage Chris Holder.
Fabulous ride from Chris Holder, superb way once again, but the home team are in charge of this contest at this stage after 7 races here this evening. Okay, let's make our way down to the pit area where Abby is waiting for us.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a word with Steady. He's talking to Jai Etheridge. There is 2 new signings in the side. Nick Morris has gone so well tonight. Jai just out of the points from that last heat, so possibly just giving him some words of encouragement. Was that what was happening there, Steady?
Yeah, just having a chat, obviously settling in. It's his first home match, so it's tough. You know, this place is a really difficult place to come, and you know, he's not, as much as he's a home rider, he's not really had any practice here so far, so throwing him in at the deep end. But got to say, both Nick and Jai are really stepping up for us, and it's just helping the rest of the boys.
Nick had quite a heat, and it was just really unlucky with Brady. You know, he's brilliant, and he's in form, just getting him on the line.
Well, look, I just said to him, I said, I know you're disappointed, mate, but this is a guy who's chasing the world championship, and he's flying. So lots of positives, Abby, so we'll just keep on doing what we're doing. So far so good, but long way to go.
Another rider that's flying for you is Chris Holder. Calvin just saying, like, vintage Holder. That start there was just electric.
There's nothing better. You know, when he's on it, he's just like, he just winds the clock back, and yeah, he's so good. But everybody's putting a shift in. You know, we're all trying hard. We know we're at the sort of crunch part of the season where we all need to step up, and I think, you know, there's a bit of uncertainty in what was going on, but we're settled now as a unit, and we can push on together.
Steady, thank you, keep pushing. We're going to take a quick break. That hashtag is SheBelle, and we're the halfway point of this meeting, and the Tigers are looking good.
Leicester monopolising the race wins at the Hydro-Scound Arena, leading by 14 points to 10 against Oxford after 4 races, and Ryan Douglas making the start there in Heat 5, managing to get the better of Peter Kilderman in the early stages, with Charles Wright in 3rd place. Steve Worrell out the back in blue, yet to make any real impression in the meeting. Moving on to Heat 6 then, and that's a fast start from Max Frick in red to take the advantage. Drew Kemp in blue trying to come back. Decent move by Tungate though to go past Frick on the back straight, and Rowan Tungate leads here for the Oxford Spires in Heat 6. Could this be their first race win of the meeting? Not if Max Frick can do anything about it, and Max Frick goes surging through into the second lap on the inside, and he gets the better of Tungate very quickly indeed, with Kemp in 3rd place and Killeen at the back. So good ride again by Max Frick, who, of course, it was in the Oxford fixture a month or so ago when he came from 15 metres back and still won a race, so he's an absolute master of this circuit. And look at him stretching his lead here over Tungate in 2nd place, with Kemp in 3rd, and Leicester picking up race win after race win at this stage. The Spires have been working hard for 2nd place, but yet to manage a race win so far in the meeting, and they won't get one here with Frick so far in front of Tungate in 2nd place, and Kemp holds the 3rd over Killeen. So Leicester about to go 6 points in front with this result in Heat 6, and the captain Max Frick come through to win the race over Rowan Tungate, with Drew Kemp in 3rd place. That makes it 21 points to 15 after 6 races. We move on to Heat 7, and look out for the rider in red. Sam Masters making the start there above Matsianowski into the first turn. Turning back is Drew Kemp off the second bend. Round the outside in yellow goes Mitch McDermott to put pressure on Sam Masters. Good ride there by the youngster, but Masters covering him off at the moment. Matsianowski finding himself at the back behind Drew Kemp. So once again Leicester on a 4-2 in Heat 7, and it's Sam Masters who leads the way with Mitch McDermott in 2nd place. Kemp in 3rd. Janowski can make no impression at this moment, and what can Drew Kemp do here against Mitch McDermott up on the 3rd and 4th bend? Masters stretching it clear. He is looking set for his 3rd race victory of the meeting. Kemp trying hard on the inside here. McDermott holding a decent line though up the back straight, and there's still no joy here for Maciejowski in Heat 7. He cannot make any impression on either of the Leicester riders, certainly not Drew Kemp, who is chasing in third place at the moment. It's McDermott doing the hard work in second place to split the Leicester combination. He certainly isn't going to catch Sam Masters out in front, who's set to make it 9 points out of 9 as they come round that final turn, and it will be Sam Masters winning Heat 7 from Mitch McDermott, with Drew Kemp in third place and Maciejowski out the back. Leicester make it 7 race wins out of 7 here, and they put their lead up to 8 points at the midway point of the meeting. It is Leicester 25, Oxford 17.
Welcome back to Sheffield. The home side have got off to a flying start, so after 7 heats, it's the Tigers that lead over the Aces by 8 points, 25 to 17. Let's head to Leicester now and get the latest from Dave Rowe.
Well, it's been Leicester race wins all the way here at the Hydro-Scund Arena so far this evening, but the captain, Max Frick, has had to work for it on a couple of occasions, and in Heat 6 he was overtaken off the second bend by Oxford's Rowan Tungate, with Drew Kemp almost making his way through in blue, but Frick is an absolute master of this track, and he turned back off the fourth bend to surge through on the inside of Tungate and take the advantage into the second lap with Kemp in third place. That has been the story for much of the evening. 4-2s in Leicester's favour. They've had all the race wins so far, and their riders have packed in for third place when required, and that was the case again in Heat 7. Sam Masters taking his third victory of the meeting. A good effort by Mitch McDermott here in yellow around the outside, but Drew Kemp holding third place over Maciejowski, fending him off there on the top turn. So Leicester gradually extending their lead here with a series of 4-2s out their own track as they look to cement their playoff place. Masters making it 3 rides and 3 wins. Decent second place for Mitch McDermott over Drew Kemp and Janowski at the back. So a 4-2 there for the Lions, and with 7 heats gone, it's Leicester 25, Oxford 17.
Dave, thank you. Well, summer of cricket continues tomorrow on TNT Sports 1. Australia won by 17 runs in the first T20 against South Africa and look to wrap up the series from 10:15. Then we head to Trinidad and Tobago, where the winner takes all in the third and final ODI, the one-day international between West Indies and Pakistan. That match starts from 2 p.m. But here in Owlerton is the ROWE Motor Oil Premiership Speedway, and the Tigers are looking good. Calv, has the last year's winners got anything to say about it?
Well, they'll be hoping so, Abby, because so far, as you rightly say, the home team have been in dominant form. They have held the upper hand. Just since they've been a little bit sharper away from the tapes, and that has played big dividends so far. Now, this is a protected race, the Heat 8. You can't make changes in this particular instance, and if there are going to be any for the Bellevue Aces, then Mark Lemon will be looking towards heat number 9, potentially Tate Ziski. Would he be changed if the deficit is still as it is now? Line up for heat number 8. Jake Mulford will go from the inside in the yellow helmet colour. Leon Flint going along pretty nicely this evening. He's gate number 2 in blue. Gate 3 in white is Nora Bladon. Now, he needs some points. He needs to win this race, really, to turn his evening around. And Anders Rowe is having a pretty good night already with a race win earlier on. He will start from gate number 4 in red. Zach Cook, who has had a quiet night so far. Mark Lemon looking, well, stoic, I would say, just trying to show no emotion whatsoever. But heat number 8 is looking good, and there's no doubt that Anders Rowe is going along pretty nicely, riding at number 2, having a pretty good season. But there's no doubt that Leon Flynn is in fine form right now, Ollie, and his starting has been good again tonight.
It has, and you look at this Sheffield pairing of Rowe and Flynn, and you have to say they look very strong here in heat number 8.
So important moments now for the Aces. Can they battle their way back into this contest? Because there's no doubt that Tigers have started strongly here this evening, and their home fans, and there's plenty of them, are delighted about that. He number 8, and we're charging into the first corner. Look at that from Flynn. Flynn absolutely got that bike beautifully set up. Charges to the outside, and Leon Flynn powers down the back straight. Coming into second place is Nora Bladorn in the white helmet colour. He's under a lot of pressure though. Round the outside. Fantastic move from Anders Rowe. Brave as you like. And out in front now, this could well be the first 5-1 of the evening.
Yeah, another excellent trap from Leon Flynn. One thing on his mind on the first bend. He headed out to the outside into that deeper dirt. He stretches his lead. Anders Rowe with a big first lap to move around the outside of Noric Bladorn. And the Sheffield boys now stretching their lead out in front. And it's a big 5-1 to the Sheffield boys.
Indeed it is. This could be a pivotal moment in the contest here this evening, because Leon Flynn, the fast-starting Leon Flynn, really is in top form. And Anders Rowe, likewise, with a really great move to get the better of Noric Bladorn at the conclusion of the first lap. What a moment for the home team. Crowd are loving that. Look at the response from them. Big applause for the two riders out in front in heat number 8. Simon Stead will be chuffed to bits. Damien Bates right alongside him, the promoter, going along very nicely against the champions here this evening in the Premiership. As we head towards the playoffs, 30 points to 18, a 12-point lead at the halfway point. Changes must be afoot, you would suggest, in the very near future for the Bellevue Aces. You can make a tactical substitute on one occasion through the evening, but right now the Tigers are roaring along. Leon Flynn, wow, he roared into the first corner, no doubt about that. 3 points for him. Anders Rowe, super ride in second place. 1 point for Nora Bladorn, and Jake Mulford misses out in heat number 8. It's all going the way of the home team here, and I tell you what, Leon Flynn,
yeah,
you want some of that, don't you? Driving into the first turn.
Drops the clutch, bike does exactly what he wants it to do, hooks up, gets loads of traction on the way to the first corner. And as I said in the race, he had one thing on his mind. He was heading out to that dirt line. Here we see again number 2 of Noric Bladorn. Leon Flynn clearly beats him to the first corner and heads wide to that deeper part of the track. And now keep your eyes on Anders Rowe, red helmet colour here. He comes into turn 3 in that deeper part of the track and swoops round the outside of Noric Bladorn before Noric really knew he was there and could do anything about it. Very brave ride there from Anders Rowe. It's not easy on the sort of modern day engine in that deep dirt to hold on to it.
Done well. Rode really nicely indeed. Home crowd were absolutely delighted. Let's get some reaction with Abby. I think she's going to join Leon Flynn.
Yeah, I'm going to go and join Leon Flynn. Leon, you're just in such great form at the moment. How is it riding out there?
Yeah, it's good. Just trying to do my thing. You know, Kev keeps calling me a slow burner, so just decided to heat up a bit.
Look, you're doing your talking out on the track, but what is it like riding out in the deep stuff? The guys in comms just saying it's hard for you, and Anders did really well holding on out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, there's a bit more you can work with today. There's a bit more material there, so it's not like you're all fighting for that one line. But you know, even there, I knew I had to get out there to come out on the right line. But yeah, track's good, bike feels good, staff feel good, so just keep going.
Keep it going. Thanks for chatting. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good to hear from Leon. Pretty laid-back character, but I must say he has really come on in recent times, and that's great to see. He's been, as you say, a bit of a slow burn. No changes here. Mark Lemon resisting the temptation to change. I think possibly he may have thought about changing Tate Ziske here for one of his big guns to try and battle it back. Gates 1 and 3. Dan Bewley in the race may be an opportunity, but Tate Ziske has got to have 3 rides, and this will be his 3rd ride, so that may well be the reasoning behind Ziske retained for heat number 9. 12 points in it. Home team certainly looking good so far this evening. There's Tate Ziske, who had a problem. We didn't find out exactly what it was, but it did look very much like a chain. Oh, he's got a problem again here now. He's got the kill switch out. Maybe the lanyard, does he know that? But there's problems, don't quite know what's going on. Can't quite see what's going on there, whether there's some adjustment to the clutch, quite possibly to the clutch this time.
Yeah, it looks like, I think you saw him flick the clutch lever a couple of times on the start line, and I wonder whether he wasn't quite happy with how it was engaging. So
He's got time.
Yeah.
He's okay on the time. So the line-up for heat number 9, we've got Dan Bewley. Hasn't won a race so far this evening. Will it be heat number 9? Bewley on the inside in the white helmet colour. Nick Morris, gate number 2 in blue, takes Ziski out of gate number 3 in yellow, and Josh Pickering off the outside in the red helmet colour. Now, the last time we saw Pickering and Morris, it was involved in that fabulous race, heat number 6, I think it was, with Brady Kurtz. Got to say, I do like the way that Pickering, when he got past, he then tried to repass. He does give his very best, and I'll tell you what, if I was running a team, he'd be part of it for me, because he turns up and he gives 100%.
Yeah, totally agree. It's everything you want in a team rider, 100% every time, never gives up. Love it.
Riders coming forward, Star Marshall just encouraging them to do that as well. Mick Bates is our referee this evening. A little bit of concern on Mark Lemon's place now. Can they respond here? Here we go then. Into the first turn. Bewley's made a lovely start. Pickering coming around the outside, but he's moved his block there. Bewley did that nicely. Just ran out of racing room there. Pickering now back up the inside of Morris. And got to say, this is job done, really and truthfully. If they can just hold Ziski at the back, 3 points, 12-point lead will be retained. Bewley is very quick indeed out in front. But the Sheffield Tigers doing what they need to do here.
They are indeed, and when you say job done, it normally is. When Dan Bewley hits the front, he looks $1 million in front. He's looked fast all night, but he's never really had fresh air, and you can see he's really enjoyed himself. But takes Ziski at the back in 4th place. Yeah, he's putting Nick Morris under all sorts of pressure here. Moves up onto the outside, bike lifts, and looks a little bit untidy, but Morris is going to have to keep going.
So Bewley's a country mile out in front. Morris now running wide, just gets a little bit of extra grip by running wide. Possibly didn't want to, but he ended up there anyway, and it did him a favour. Bewley wins, half an hour in front of everybody else, and Pickering back in 2nd place. And Nick Morris just hanging on in 3rd, because Ziski did come on strong there the longer the race went on, but a shared heat, and that's fine for the home team. They've established this strong lead, this 11-point lead at this stage, and heat advantages is what it's all about, the Bellevue Aces now. They need them in a hurry. 3 points for Dan Bewley. Now, he was in a hurry in heat number 9. He won it comfortably. 2 points for Josh Pickering in 2nd, 1 point for Nick Morris in 3rd, and Tate Ziski misses out in heat number 9. Bewley electric away from the inside gate, and they didn't really see which way he went.
No, a great start there from Dan Bewley in the white helmet colour. He's made his mind up. He's going to the outside. You know you've got to stop the outside run, especially when Josh Pickering's there, and he does a great job of it. He's hard but fair on the first bend. Just takes the racing line away from Pickering. Here we see again Bewley on gate 1. Makes a good start and then lets the bike run across the corner out into that deeper racing line, leaves no room for Pickering, and from then on he absolutely clears off in front. And just like at Belle Vue the other week, really fast and composed out in front, a rider at the top of his game.
Fabulous shot, that slow-mo shot, when the back tyre hits the dirt and the kicks up and the dirt deflector gets out of the way. Super ride, and Bewley wins the first ride this evening. He's had a couple of 2nd places, and he wins heat number 9. Heat number 10, riders are being released and on their way towards the tapes. Haven't been informed of any changes here. Jack Holder and Anders Rowe, who have been going along nicely for the home team, and Jamin Lidsey and Zach Cook, pretty strong pairing, so has resisted to make any changes here. Might be in the next one. Might see Bewley out in heat number 11 with Brady Kurtz. That might just be what he's waiting for. Heat number 10. Riders making their way towards the tapes. Jack Holder got oil and fuel running out the bottom of the bike. Quite a lot of fuel actually running out the bottom of the bike with it leant over like that, but hopefully all is well. Line up for heat number 10. We've got Zach Cook on the inside. He's in the yellow helmet colour. Gate number 2 in blue is Anders Rowe. Jamin Lidsey, gate 3 in white. And Jack Holder, who won in fine style last time out, getting the better of Dan Bewley, doing plenty of work on the outside. We've got fuel spitting out the top of the fuel of the tank. and we had a bit of fuel running out the bottom of the carburetor as well. But now the bike's upright, it all seems to be a-okay. It can be an issue, can't that, if the bike is flooding and getting too much fuel?
It can be, yeah, but normally when the bike's over like that, it's just the overflow from the carburetor, just excess fuel running out.
Yeah,
so
just a little
hopefully,
bit of, hopefully all is well,
yes.
but it does appear it's not coughing and spluttering too much. But we will wait and see. This is crunch time now at heat number 10 for the Bellevue Aces. 11 points down. They've got their big guns to come, of course, in the back end of the meeting, and we may well see it on 3 occasions, because no tax sub has been used by the Bellevue Aces yet. Simon Stead, he'll be aware of that. Here we go then, tapes up very quickly indeed, and Litz's made a lovely start. He fires himself, he elects to go wide. Here we come, Jack Holder trying to find a way through, but can't quite. He had to just had his run interrupted coming out of turn number 2 in the opening lap. Litz is out in front. Jack Holder giving chase in second place. Rowe back in third. Zach Cook having a quiet night. But I tell you what, Holder's throwing everything at it in second place.
Yeah, Jack Holder's not happy with second place. He's set his sights on Litzy out in front, and he's chasing him hard on that and now he dives up the inside into turn 1, moves up the inside, and Litzy cuts him off. Bike lifts. Can he hold on to the lead down the back straight? Litzy back up the inside.
Proper speedway here in heat number 10. Litzy and Holder going at it. Holder now getting back out in front. Proper couple of laps of speedway. Oh! Litzy straightens up momentarily. There's a race for 3rd and 4th as well. Holder's got the win. Can Cook do anything about 3rd place as it comes to the conclusion? Not quite. Anders Rowe holds on. And it's good news. It's good news for the home team. They really are enjoying a strong performance tonight. Of course, a few weeks back, they got turned over by Leicester. The Leicester Lions came here and got the better of the Tigers. They've made team changes, and all of a sudden the confidence is oozing. The champions are in town, but the Tigers are really flexing their muscles here tonight. That was some race there in heat number 10. Holder out in front. What a ride from him. 3 points. Jamin Litzy back in second place, 2 points. Anders Rowe in third, 1 point for him. And Zach Cook is having a quiet night this evening. Misses out in heat number 10. Looking forward to seeing this again.
Yeah, excellent race there between the top 2. Litzy makes a fantastic start from gate 3. He runs to the outside line. Holder tries to cut back. His line's cut off a little bit by his teammate, but he soon moves him out of the way and sets out after Litzy. And at this point, there's a substantial gap, but Holder soon hunts him down and dives up the inside of him into turn 1. Bike lifts when he hits that dirt. Litzy then repays the favour into turn 3. Holder cuts back, and then coming off the bend, he manages to shut that run of Jamin Litzy. And intelligent ride though by Chris Holder. Litzy there gets in all sorts of trouble across turns 1 and 2, and you see Simon Stead's face there. Scary moment for Litzy, but excellent race between the front 2.
Brilliant stuff in heat number 10. Abby, you've got news for us. You're down there.
Yeah, we've got news, or Mark will have news on a tax sub.
Yeah, going to go for a tax sub in this race. Probably not the perfect race I wanted to do it in. Obviously, Chris Holder's going extremely well, but gate 1 hasn't been working great, so well, hopefully we can capitalise on that. But otherwise, I'll have to wait until heat 14 probably to get the best opportunity. But I'm putting a bit of faith in Brady and Dan in this one.
Yeah. And the boys in commentary thinking that you may have made a tax sub before now, so you've held off for this heat. Why was that?
Well, you're kind of looking at whether you're trying to win the meeting or just, look at the aggregate, two-legged tie. So you got to place it right. I felt probably heat 9 was a good opportunity, but Tate obviously had a really good race in his earlier ride, and I didn't really feel like to replace him. So you got to try and keep the momentum going for the boys as well.
Yeah. And look, your big guns have gone well, but the points have been hard to come by from those low in the order. Anything that Brady and Dan can pass on?
They are. They are. It's a tough place to come. Sheffield are riding very well. Obviously, Nick Morris coming into the team. He's wanting to prove a point that he's worthy of his position, so he's pretty fired up. But the gates, it's obviously still another set of heats to go, and anything can change. But right now, we just got to keep it competitive.
Well, let's hope the tack sub plays off. Thank you very much. Pays off even. Okay, Cal, back over to you.
Happy with the questions there, putting Mr. Lemon under a little bit of pressure. He obviously did think about it. We mentioned it up in commentary about heat number 9, but he's saved it for heat 11. He probably realises that if he waited till heat 14, it possibly will be too late then. So he needs to battle back and get some momentum back in the team. Got to say, looking down at the scores here for tonight, Bladorn, 1 point. Not really good enough. 1 point for Cook. That really is a surprise for me, but Bewley is the man who comes out as a tack sub here in heat number 11. So the line-up for a very, very important race for the Bellevue Aces, heat number 11. Chris Holder going along lovely. He's on the inside in the red helmet colour. Brady Kurtz, gate 2 in white. Jai Etheridge will start from gate 3 in blue. And Dan Bewley, who won his last ride in fine style, he'll go from the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Chris Holder is unbeaten, but he is up against the 2 big guns here in Bellevue. And if Bellevue are going to battle their way back, a 5-1 here is a must, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key here is if Kurtz can beat Holder out of the start and pin him down on the first bend and allow Bewley to run around the outside, then a 5-1 is certainly possible.
Game on.
Absolutely.
That could very well be the game plan for heat number 11. Mark Lemon makes his move. Bewley coming in, perfectly understandable. I could see that all day long. Kurtz, Bewley, we're going to see them 3 times tonight. It's a bit of a treat for us then, isn't it? Because when those 2 riders get together, they certainly... Normally there's 1 or 2 fireworks that go off, that's for sure. But Chris Holder, do not underestimate Chris Holder. He has had a couple of rides tonight. He's the only rider that's unbeaten so far from his 2 outings so far this evening. And gate 1 might not be the best gate, but he is fabulous out of the gate. Here we go then. Yeah, the taps are up and away we go. Holder's made a lovely start. He gets to the first turn, but round the outside, Bewley in the dirt. No resisting that. Kurtz now back to the inside. Beautiful move from Kurtz to switch back to the inside to get the better of Chris Holder. And the Bellevue Aces, for the first time this evening, have got a 5-1 on the cards. The big guns, the GP stars, have fired themselves to the front.
Yeah, excellent first lap there from the Bellevue boys. Bewley made a great start from the outside and swept around the outside of the first bend. Bewley dived up the inside of Chris Holder into turn 3, and now you can see Bewley enjoying himself out in front. Brady Kurtz is thinking, I'll have a bit of that, and he's doing exactly the same. Yeah. And you'd have to say, excellent bit of team management there for Mark Lemon.
Spot on, made the move, Mark Lemon, brought his big gun in, and they're doing the business. Less than a lap to go in heat number 11, and are we going to see a big fight back now from the champions? First time this evening, they're going to pick up maximum score in heat number 11. And Bewley stunning out in front, that first corner, riding in the dirt where he loves to be. And all of a sudden, the lead is reduced down to just, by my maths, 10 points. So there's 10 points, so there's still work to be done, but there is a second leg as well, so the aggregate point will be of importance, of course it will, but a great effort from the 2 top men from the Bellevue Aces. Dan Bewley, what a fine ride. 3 points for him. Brady Kurtz in second place, 2 points. Chris Holder back in third, 1 point for him. And Jai Etheridge misses out in a very hotly contested heat number 11. They needed that. They needed it big time.
Yeah, keep your eye on Dan Bewley here in the yellow helmet colour. He makes a great start. Head straight for that outside line, and he stretches his lead onto the back straight. The key move there, though, is Brady Kurtz cuts back on the first bend. We see Brady Kurtz, keep an eye on him, yellow helmet colour. He's in third place at the moment. He drifts up wide, cuts back, makes a sort of longer straight and dives up the inside of Chris Holder into turn 3 to join his teammate out front. And after that, there really was no looking back. The Bellevue boys looked supremely confident out front in that deep outside line, and it's exciting to think we might see them a couple more times.
Indeed we will. Fabulous stuff from Dan Bewley out in front. The crowd still happy. 10-point leads at this stage. Let's get some more reaction now. Scotty's made his way out onto the track again.
Yeah, thanks, Kelvin. Interesting, Ollie just said about how deep it is on the outside. I'm on that third and fourth corner, but I've come more to the entry of the turn because you can see this light bit here. You can see there's a few little bits of dirt here, and Dan Bewley out front, you saw him coming in on this sort of slightly lighter shady bit and then drifting up into the dirt. For the boys behind, it makes it really difficult because if you come in too wide, right where my cameraman's standing now, if he spins right now, you can see like this heavy dirt line right here, and you're coming in this corner with so much speed and momentum, it kind of just naturally sucks you in towards the fence. So you've got to be fully committed, and it's pretty scary. And you can see why sometimes the boys, when they're behind, they're a little bit tentative coming in. They would prefer to opt to kind of come in slightly narrow. The boys were saying it's getting exceptionally deep out here. Not a lot they can do about the track, really, to be fair. I mean, they could possibly try and get rid of a little bit of this material, but the boys have said before, it's such a confidence track, and if you're high on confidence, like Dan Bewley showed there, and you get your back wheel on the edge of that dirt, it's going to be hard to beat. But for now, we'll hand back to Abby.
Thanks, Scotty. And the Grand Prix stars are chatting to each other now. They are Watchlab teammates, Bellevue teammates. Really good mates as well, play a lot of golf together as well, apparently. But I'm going to try and get a word with Dan. Dan, that was a much-needed 5-1, a useful tack sub.
Yeah, we're a few downs and we need as many points as we can get, but now it's not over.
What's it like riding out in the deep stuff? The track is tricky, but you guys always make it look pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not crazy deep. It's more just the line between being in a little bit of fluff and being just off it. It's absolutely nothing, and then it's like almost full toe. So no, it's pretty cool. I always enjoy coming here. It's a unique spot.
Could that now just turn things a little bit with that win? Could you put on a late charge? I'm pretty sure you guys are going to go out another 2 times together.
Yeah, possibly, but we'll see. If some of the boys put a show on, they might have to go in 15. So no, it's a long night. It's far from over. So we'll see what we can get. Do as best we can, and that's it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for chatting. It is far from over. We are in the latter part, though, and it's now down to 10 points. And that hashtag, SheBelle. See you after this.
Leicester lead Oxford by 8 points after 7 races here at the Hydro Scandia Arena, but Max Frick outgated in Heat 8 by Rowan Tungate and Luke Killeen, so could be a shock on the cards, although Frick goes bursting through in between the Spies pairing to hit the front, and that's decisive stuff from the home captain. Max Frick with the advantage over Rowan Tungate in second place, Killeen in third over Joe Thompson. They've had a couple of good battles so far this evening, but Max Frick stretching his legs out in front, and he is well clear now of Tungate in second, Killeen third, 25-17 heading into this race, and looks like being a shared heat here in Heat 8 as Max Frick leads on to his third lap. Tungate in second place, and Killeen still holds the third, almost backed it in there. Luke Killeen on turns 1 and 2, but managed to escape that particular incident. Max Frick really charging clear. It's Tungate in second, although Tungate a bit in trouble there on the top turn, and Rowan Tungate comes to a halt. That's disaster for the Oxford Spires in Heat 8. Joe Thompson goes through into third place as Frick roars clear out in front, and that's definitely a point gone there for Oxford, with Rowan Tungate having mechanical failure, and the 3-3 turns into a 4-2 as Max Frick wins Heat 8 for Leicester. Joe Thompson finishing fast around the outside. Luke Killeen takes the second place with a 4-2, and Rowan Tungate is far from happy with that. Whatever went wrong, whatever the problem was, and there's frustration there for the Australian, who was back out again in Heat 9 off the inside gate in white and making the start here for the Oxford Spires. Tungate in front of a real battle for second place. Steve Worrell in blue trying to come through. Ryan Douglas around the outside, who's yet to be beaten so far in the meeting, but charging hard here to try and get the better of Rowan Tungate, with a battle also between Steve Worrell and Peter Kilderman. Kilderman in yellow going through on the inside there of Worrell as Douglas gets his nose chopped off there by Rowan Tungate into bend 3. Really competitive action in Heat 9, but Tungate becomes the Spires' first race winner there, and they get a 4-2 out of the race. And in heat 10, we saw Matsianowski in white make a good move in the opening 2 turns, because in blue, Ryan Douglas made a good one. Frick was there too, but Janowski striking the front there on the third and fourth bend, and a really good ride by the Oxford captain, because again a strong Leicester combination here, Max Frick and Ryan Douglas, but Janowski getting out in front and Max Frick getting into all kinds of trouble trying to reel him in. So a shared heat there in heat 10, and then Sam Masters continuing his winning ways in heat 11. This is his 4th victory of the meeting so far, heading Charles Wright and Peter Kilderman for a shared heat. So Leicester marching on here in fairly comfortable fashion without totally dominating. Oxford working hard. Trouble on the final bend there for Drew Kemp as Masters takes the win in heat 11, and Leicester lead by 8 points with 4 to go. 11 heats gone. It's Leicester 37, Oxford 29.
Welcome back to Sheffield. So it's now down to 10 points separating the two teams. Tigers have been dominant tonight, but can the Aces make a late comeback? 38-28 with 4 heats remaining. Potentially 5 if we go to a super heat. Right, let's head over to Leicester and get the latest from Dave.
Well, Leicester were 8 points in front after heat 7, gradually building their lead, and Max Frick in heat 8 taking the rider replacement ride, bursting in between Rowan Tungate and Luke Killeen off the second bend for what looked like being a straightforward 3-3 in this particular race, but trouble for the Oxford Spies, a bit of bad luck actually on the third lap, because Rowan Tungate, the rider in white, suffering mechanical trouble up on that third bend, and that allowed Leicester to go through for a 4-2 with Joe Thompson in third place, and Rowan Tungate was not at all happy with what went on there as he made his way back to the pits, but he did come out to become the first Oxford race winner in heat 9 when he beat Ryan Douglas, and that seemed to inspire Matsianowski, because the rider in white in heat 10 was also very impressive here around the outside on the opening lap up against a strong Leicester combination of Max Frick and Ryan Douglas. So it is 2 successive race victories for the Oxford Spies, trying to keep themselves in touch. Max Frick trying hard here on lap 2, but getting himself in trouble and having to be content with the shared heat. Sam Masters keeping on winning. He won heat 11. The 8-point lead for the home side is maintained. 11 heats gone. Leicester 37, Oxford 29.
Dave, thank you. Well, the snooker season is well underway. We're in the iconic Green Halls in Jeddah for the Battle on the Bays. Tomorrow, the last 32 go head-to-head for a place in the last 16 of the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, and one step closer to taking home a lucrative prize pot. That's live from 11 a.m. Right, back with the action here in Owlerton, Heat 12. Over to you, boys.
Thank you very much, Abby. Possibly a little bit of momentum just grabbed back by the Bellevue Aces in the previous race, heat number 11. We will see Kurtz and Bewley in heat 13, and almost certainly, although Dan was being quite diplomatic, I guarantee you we're going to see them in heat 15 as well. But now the responsibility lies with Lidsey and Tate Ziske. And Tate Ziske hasn't had a great night. There he is. In truth, I'm looking down at his score chart. I don't think he's scored a point tonight, so has had a difficult evening, and is going to have to come up with something pretty special here, because Pickering and Flint have looked pretty good so far tonight. Line-up heat number 12. 10 points in it. Josh Pickering, the captain of the Tigers, goes from the inside gate in the red helmet colour. Tate Ziske out for his 4th ride this evening. Gate 2 in yellow. Leon Flint, gate 3 in blue, and Jamin Lidsey, gate number 4 in white. Now, Lidsey's had a great night, really, in truth. He's had a couple of wins, and he's going along quite nicely. There's a couple of wins, or is it 2 second places? Excuse me, he's had a win and 2 second places, so he's had a solid night's work so far. They're going to need a win here from him, I would suggest. Not going to be easy against Pickering, but Ziske is the man who needs to get amongst the points if he can.
Yeah, he's not been off the pace tonight. He's ridden okay, and he was in a point scoring position when he broke down. Yeah. So, you know, there's hope there, and you know, he's not been off the pace, so he could sneak a point, yeah, and then he needs to.
They need a 4-2. They need a heat advantage to back up the 5-1 from Kurtz and Bewley in the previous race in heat number 11. If they are really going to get right back in this, Simon Stead will be pleased with his troops' performance. As I said, there were some concerns a few weeks ago when they got beaten by the Leicester Lions. Leicester Lions, mind you, are a good outfit, but they came here And for the Tigers to have been beaten at home, that set the alarm bells ringing. They've responded, and they've responded well here this evening so far. Heat number 12, here we go, the tapes are up, and we go charging into the first turn, and it's the home pair that show. Pickering makes the start, Flint's even wider, and the two boys from the home team just get the better of the opposition down the back straight, and they're working extremely well together. They've got the better of Lidsey. Now Lidsey's got a lot of work to do here. Pickering is working hard, he's looking after his less experienced rider, but Flint, look at him go, he's great out in front.
Yeah, brilliant first lap from the Sheffield boys. And you have to say a very intelligent ride from Josh Pickering. He had a couple of looks over his shoulder and he allowed his younger teammate around the outside of him, and he's now settled into second and he's protecting him. Not that he needs much protecting from Jamie Lidsey, but great ride there from the Sheffield duo, and a 5-1 on the cards at the moment. Simon Stead will be very happy with that.
It all down after the 5-1 to the Bellevue Aces in the previous race. The home team really turning on the star once again, responding brilliantly in heat number 12. But Pickering and Flint, both riders riding well this evening, really doing a fine job for the team. And there's no question that Simon Stead, as he turns away, walks back into the pit area, he'll be pleased with that. That's exactly what he wanted to see from his team. He wanted to see a response. And Leon Flint, the fast-starting Leon Flint, absolutely jet-propelled again. And as you say, Ollie, we'll see it again, but a smart ride from Josh Pickering to look after Pickering on the opening lap, with Lidsey lurking in third place. So the result is Leon Flint, another win. He's having a smashing night. 3 points for him. Josh Pickering in second place, 2 points. 1 point for Jamin Lidsey in third. Tate Ziski, a night to forget for him. He fails to score in heat number 12. 43 points to 29, just a couple of points away from winning here this evening on their home track, the home team.
Yeah, another great start here from Leon Flint in the blue helmet colour. It's his teammate Pickering that makes the best one though from the inside, and he runs fairly high on the first bend, but I think he's cautious enough to allow room for his teammate. You see him have a sneaky look over his right shoulder there, sees Leon Flint coming around the outside, and here we see again it's Pickering from the inside. It makes the best gate, but Leon Flint, a fantastic gate from gate 3, not an easy place to come from, and Leon Flint runs a high line around the first bend. Pickering has a look for him. Intelligent riding there from the older of the duo to allow young Leon Flint round the outside, and once Leon hit the front, looked really good out in front. Great 5-1 there for the Sheffield boys.
Superb reaction from the home team. What a lineup we've got for heat number 13. Number 13 generally is always pretty tasty, but here tonight in Sheffield it is top draw stuff. World-class performance, 3 Grand Prix riders and a former world champion. How about that? Doesn't get too much better than that in any league in any part of the world. And there's no doubt that we are going to be in for some treat here. This home team are in charge, so it wouldn't be a massive problem if for the home team if the Aces did get the upper hand here in heat 13. But just as a standalone race, this is something to really, really enjoy. So there we are, the boys just getting themselves prepared for a big shootout here in the latter stages of the evening. Heat number 13, what a lineup it is. Kurtz, he's going along nicely now, he's off the inside in the white helmet colour. Jack Holder, he won't want to get beaten in this race, that's for sure. Gate 2 in red. Bewley has turned on the style in his last couple of outings. Gate 3 in yellow, and Chris Holder from the outside in the blue helmet colour. Gates 1 and 3 for the Aces. Can they get another 5-1 like they did in heat number 11?
They'll certainly want to. They'll be wanting to limit the damage. The scoreline's not looking pretty at the moment, but if there is a duo out there that can do it, you'd have to say Kurtz and Bewley are that too. Gates 1 and 3 for them. They'll fancy their chances from there, I think, but a lot of pride on the line here for the Grand Prix boys. Jack Holder in particular will not want to let the Aces duo get the better of him.
No, and he rode really well last time out when he battled very hard indeed to get the better of, I think it was Jamin Lidsey, and it was a terrific bust-up. Yeah, it was. Jack Holder and Jamin Lidsey really put on quite a display, and Holder was not to be denied in that particular race. This is a sort of race, as the home rider, as the #1 home rider, you would dearly love to win. And as I say, there's always a bit of competition between the Grand Prix stars. We've got 3 of them here. How about that? Heat number 13, what a line-up, and we're away. Charging into the first turn, Kurtz has got his nose in front, elects to go right round the outside, but here, right round the outside, is Jack Holder. Stunning move from him. Holder gets himself to the front. Bewley's back in 3rd place with Holder, Chris that is, at the back, but Jack Holder, he was determined. He got his wheels in the dirt, and he's doing it again here in heat number 13.
Yeah, great ride from Jack Holder. He's looking fast out in front. Brady Kurtz possibly made a mistake on the first bend, opting to stay tight round the inside, allowed Jack Holder that outside, that allowed him a free run round the outside, possibly regretting that now as Jack Holder stretches his lead in front. And the Bellevue boys here on a 3-3, not really what they wanted.
Looking for more, but the stunning start of Jack Holder, who is in the mood this evening. No question about that. We saw that to fine effect in his previous ride, but by golly, he is leaving it all out there in Owlerton this evening. Jack Holder delights the home crowd with a big win in heat number 13. Kurtz and Bewley just couldn't quite get the better of Holder. And Jack Holder riding superbly well there. Pretty much did what Bewley done previously, got himself in the dirt. It is brave, it's not for the faint-hearted. You can see the way the bikes react. They really do go from spinning violently and then loads of grip all at the same time. Holder, lovely ride, 3 points for him. Brady Kurtz in 2nd place, 2 points. 1 point for Dan Bewley in 3rd, and Chris Holder misses out in heat number 13. A shared race, no problem for the home team. They win 46 points to 32. They are the victors, but we'll see this race again.
Yeah, Jack Holder is in the red helmet colour. He doesn't make the best start. He makes a sort of even one with Brady Kurtz, but he runs wide to the outside, gets on that dirt first, and then clears off in front. Let me see again, Brady Kurtz, gate 1 and the white helmet. Could he have run across the corner and stopped Jack Holder? He could have. It would have been a messy first bend if he did, but he elected to stay tight round the inside, and that allowed Jack Holder a clear run round the outside. And Jack looking fantastic out in front, like you said, Kelvin, really winding the throttle on, and you can see the bike there, as you said, when he comes from the slick part of the track to the deeper part on the outside, the bike hooks up and almost pulls his arms off. It's really is a sight to behold.
Indeed it is. Brilliant racing from Jack Holder, and as a consequence, it was overlooked. Actually, they've won the evening. Sorry about that, but 46 points to 32, a convincing win, and there's a couple of races to go, and we will quite possibly see that line up once again in heat number 15, which will be very much worth waiting for. Now, I do believe we've got a couple of changes in heat number 14. Jai Etheridge has been replaced by Leon Flint. You can understand that one. And Tate Ziski is in for Jake Mulford here. So the 2 changes. So Leon Flint in for Jai Etheridge, and Tate Ziski will come in for Jake Mulford. Now, Ziski would dearly love to go away with a point or 2 here, because he's had a disappointing evening, and it's never nice driving back down the motorway when you haven't scored from all your rides.
No, certainly not. But like I said before, he's been okay, he's ridden okay, he's been on the rough end of a deal a few times, and yeah, let's hope he can pick up some points here.
So the lineup for heat number 14, Leon Flint is coming in here to replace Jai Etheridge. He's gate 1 in blue. Gate 2 in white is Zach Cook. Now, he's had a very quiet night by his own high standards, looking to finish with a flourish here. Gate 2 in white. Gate 3 in red is Nick Morris on his debut. 3 rides and 4 points. Steady. And off the outside is a reserve replacement for the Bellevue Aces. Tate Ziski coming in to replace Jake Mulford. So heat number 14. The race meeting is done, but there is a second leg to this particular contest. This is the B fixture and the first leg of it, so the Bellevue Aces will need to keep battling to try and reduce the deficit as much as possible. So Mark Lemon will be aware of that, and he'll want to see his troops give their very best until the conclusion of the night. 8 laps to go. Mr. Drone looking down. Bit of vertigo going on in here in the commentary box as we look down on 4 riders. Simon Stead will be chuffed to bits with the way his team have gone about their business tonight. in number 14, and takes that up, and away we go. And once again, the inside gate. I mean, goodness gracious me. Oh, takes this. Well, he's got no luck tonight. Well, the only luck he's got is bad.
Yeah.
He had a chain come off earlier, and he's been collected on the entrance to the first corner, and just a little bit of concern from them. So let's hope he's okay. Yeah, he's just up. He's okay. Just a bit knocked about. He's on his feet. That's good news. But yeah, just one of those things caught on the outside, domino effect.
It was, yeah. Nick Morris was looking to get on the outside ahead of him, and that's what happened. Nick Morris here in the red helmet colour. Tate Ziske in the yellow. Tate tries to come across. Nick's slightly in front of him, so he's got right of way, so to speak, and Nick runs to the outside, and Tate really has nowhere to go. Red helmet here, Nick Morris, you see him. He holds his line, he's moving to the outside, and Tate really has nowhere to go but down, and I'm sure that'll be all four back. It's good to see Tate back up and riding back to the pits.
So it will be all four back for the restart. Tate Ziske will ride his own bike back, and hopefully there's nothing too much wrong with it. Just a bit of dirt around the clutch possibly, but gonna get a bit of a two-up job. Okay, we can get some reaction while we wait, and Abby is joined by Josh Pickering.
Yep. Captain, fantastic. Look, you're always in the thick of the action, but a convincing win for you. All of you guys have put in the effort tonight.
Yeah, it's been good. All the boys are stepping in and doing their job. It's making things a lot easier, that's for sure. But, watch out. He's had a bit of a tough lane take tonight, poor bugger, but sometimes when it rains, it pours in this job.
Look, there's so many Aussies about this very tight and claustrophobic little pit area tonight. We were talking about how, you know, you're always in the thick of it, you always bring 100%. What was it like battling between you and another Aussie who happens to be quite good?
Yeah, he's the best in the world in the minute, arguably, and I must be the second best then. But nah, it's
this Schmarzlik business. What is those world championships?
No, Brady, we've raced each other since we're 8-year-old. Things have never been different. You know, we've always raced hard but fair, and we were chucking the bike at each other, but. You know, he's going to be disappointed, like looking back on, he obviously ended up winning, but the reason why I had to fight so hard for it, and myself, I was a little bit lacking a bit of speed that one. I made a change, and, you know, I was a little bit flat, and if I felt like I had a little bit more res under me, I might have got there a bit earlier, but made a change again then, and, you know, I'd come down the back straight and seen Leon was there and sort of tucked the inside and let him come round and just, you know, done my part there. So, we're in a good situation, and considering all the boys have put in a good solid performance tonight, it's the main thing.
Yeah, it was a great team riding, and you just protecting Leon, and Leon's been impressive.
He don't need much protection though. He's riding awesome. He's arguably, most definitely the best rising star in the league. I think he'll find himself in the main body of the team next Averages, no doubt. But great kid, really calm, and, you know, nothing's really a problem. And I feel like the whole 1 to 7 we have in the team, even all year, like, it's a shame with Sedgy and Louis parting ways, but, you know, we've all got on good. Like, we've got a very great morale here, I feel, and yeah, everyone just enjoys coming here. You know, like, it makes things a lot easier when you've got all the riders in your team and you're all getting on, and you know when you're racing out there, they're not going to, you know, chase that extra point to try and hurt you or whatever. There's no ego when it comes to it. We all want to win, and I feel like with the team we have now, we definitely could be very challenging for the title once again.
Pico, thank you, as always. Let's head back to comms.
Yeah, a really good interview there with Josh Pickering, clearly very determined to try and pick up the championship once again in 2025. Long way to go, though. They've got 6 more meetings after tonight before the playoffs, so they've got a busy period, but they're going to be in the playoffs, there's no doubt about that, the former champions. Of course, they made history a couple of years ago when they won their first Premiership title. They'd won titles at championship level, but never at the highest level, so special moment for the club. Will it be repeated in 2025? I don't know. That's wide open. I fancied Ipswich. I've remained loyal to them throughout this season.
Is that because of your friendship with Chris Louis, or?
Excuse me?
Is that because of your friendship with Chris Louis, or is that?
I like Chris. I think he's a decent fella, but no, I just
checking.
I'll be quite happy to tell Chris he's got no chance. His team was hopeless, but
he has got a good team.
He has got a very good team, and I just sense that they've been unfortunate last year, particularly, and losing your top 2 men, but maybe third time lucky for that particular lineup. We will wait and see. But the playoffs, they're unpredictable, and teams get momentum, and they can turn it around. We've seen it on many occasions. Now, Tate Ziske had a tough night, running repairs for the young Australian, and he'll be hoping to, as I say, finish with a couple of points if he can here in heat number 14. Mark Lewin will want Zach Cook. Now, Zach Cook inexplicably hasn't scored very many tonight. What's he scored? One?
One, yeah.
One and a bonus. So very, very quiet night for Zach Cook. When you consider how well he rode last week in Manchester, it's not sure quite what's gone on tonight. Just one of those evenings to put behind you. So heat number 14, the lineup for you is Leon Flint, the fast-starting Leon Flint. He will come away from gate number 1 in blue. Zach Cook, gate 2 in white. Gate 3 is Nick Morris in red, and off the outside is Tate Ziske in the yellow helmet colour. 2 reserve replacements, Leon Flint coming in, and Tate Ziske coming in as a replacement. Likewise, all 4 back. Nick Bates didn't see any reason to exclude anybody. I think that was absolutely the right call. But for Leon Flint, saw him riding for some considerable time for the Wolverhampton team when they were running, and since there he sort of just plateaued off. He didn't seem to make the progress that a lot of people were expecting. But this season, last couple of times I've seen him, I mean, crikey, he really has come on, and just listening to Pickering there saying he's the best reserve in the league right now.
Yeah, and I don't think you could argue it. I think he has come on a lot in the last couple of years, and it's good to see a young British rider making those strides forward.
Well, particularly in your position as joint team manager of the Great Britain team, you know, you'll be wanting to keep an eye on the young riders. So good news that Leon is beginning to fulfill his potential. Here we go then, heat number 14, second time of asking, and away we go. And into the first. Guess what? Leon Flint has made a lovely start. Fantastic. Tate Ziske, the bike's packed up. I mean, crikey, just no luck whatsoever. Down the back straight, Zach Cook is now relegated to the 3rd place. Nick Morris has come roaring round the outside. 5-1 on the cards. Got to say, Leon Flint on the inside. Morris round the outside, but Cook is there learning. And now Tate Ziske has got going.
Yeah, it looks like Tate Ziske didn't have his fuel turned on, which will probably be rather embarrassing, but Leon Flint, another excellent start from him. Oh, and now Cook up the inside of Nick Morris. Nick Morris! Oh, around the bottom of the fence, got out of control there, but he's still going, he hasn't given up.
My goodness gracious me, how on earth did he stay on? How on earth did he miss his teammate? And Zach Cook probably is in disbelief that he stayed upright. Stunning move, exciting move, no question. Nick Morris had his heart in his mouth, no doubt about that. But at the end of it all, it's going to be potentially another 5-1. It is. Wow. I can't tell you how hard Nick Morris was hanging on then. He probably thought it was over and he was going to bury himself in the bottom of the air fence. But by golly,
he looks exhausted.
And rightly so. He used every bit of energy to hang on to the bike. Leon Flint has finished with a stunning win in heat number 14. Nick Morris has got a paid win. Tate Ziske, well, a night to forget for him, but I don't want to laugh, but watching that back, I mean, we've got to ask the question. I hope Abiel Scott asked the question to Nick.
That's what arm pump will do to you, that is.
How were you feeling at that time? Leon Flint, lovely ride from him in heat 14, 3 points. Nick Morris, the strongest man in the stadium. Oh, he was, anyway. 2 points in second place. 1 point for Zach Cook, and Tate Ziske misses out in heat number 14. Big 5-1 once again, 51 points to 33, convincing the home team tonight against the Bellevue Aces. Watch it again.
Yeah, Leon Flint, gate 1, what a start again. He's barely missed one all night. He's got plenty of time to look over his shoulder and check for his teammate. Really brave first corner here from Nick Morris. You can't fault his commitment for the whole 4 laps. Squeezes round the outside of Leon Flint. And I think at this point, here we see again Leon Flint, gate 1. Really fast start. He's a bike length clear going into the first bend. Allows his teammate round him. I don't think Nick really had the speed to stay there. And Leon was quite happy to get out in front and leave Nick to fight his own battles. Here we see Cook dives up the inside of Nick Morris. Nick Morris's bike hits the dirt and he absolutely rails round the bottom of the fence. At that point, he is a passenger.
Yeah.
He is a passenger. And there is another one. But But fair play, he doesn't shut the throttle off at all, keeps it on, and he's determined to get there. You can see he's tired. The legs back going into the first corner. He's never been so glad to see the checkered flag, I don't think. Amazing determination.
I think the heart rate monitor would have broken at one point, but
in the low 200s at least.
Fabulous, right. So a big 5-1, 51 points to 33. Let's get back down to Abby.
I will try and ask the question. Pico just came and gave him a little slap on the back. Nick, glad to be back in British Speedway.
Glad to be back. It's not easy, but it was never going to be easy coming in at this time of the year, but really happy to be back. So many people I got to thank. Firstly, my girlfriend and her family for looking after me the last 2 years. It hasn't been easy, but went home, got the head down. Time to have another crack.
And you had another crack, and that was quite an entertaining heat. You're holding on for dear life.
I was holding on for dear life. I'm not getting the nicest ride out there, but fighting to stay in front and hold me spot. But if we can get the bike to handle a little bit better, I'll be a lot happier.
It's great to have you back. Right, we are going to take a quick break. What a heat. That hashtag is SheBelle. I can see that your questions are coming. Keep them coming in, and we'll be back with the big Heat 15 after this.
Back at the Hydroscund Arena, Leicester closing in on victory against the Oxford Spires with a really powerful showing by their heat leaders, including Ryan Douglas, the man out in front here in the red helmet colour, leading Matej Janowski and Peter Kilderman in Heat 12. They went into this race with an 8-point lead, and with the heat leaders winning races as they have been, there's never been too much doubt of the Spires, or so much chance of the Spires catching up. Close on the second turn there with Joe Thompson trying to get on terms with Matej Janowski. A hard-working showing here by Oxford, who have certainly put plenty of effort in keep things as close as they can. Bearing in mind there'll be an aggregate point available when they meet in September, but they haven't had the top end firepower to deal with the Leicester heat leaders, as Ryan Douglas showing out here in front, and he is a very powerful rider to have at this stage of the season in the form he is currently in. So Ryan Douglas winning Heat 12 to keep their 8-point lead with the 3 races remaining, and Heat 13 saw plenty of competitive action with Max Frick making his way up to the front, and Sam Masters, who had yet to drop a point in the meet so far, but finding himself in 3rd place here behind Charles Wright with Ryan Tungate at the back. So Frick in control with the lead, but Masters having to try and come from the back as he had done earlier in the meeting. This time Charles Wright holding a decent line. But that said, the 4-2 here will put Leicester into a 10-point lead. That virtually guarantees their victory on the night anyway, trying to confirm their place in the playoff, but that's being slightly delayed because Kings Lynn have won at Birmingham tonight, which keeps them in with a slight mathematical chance, and it is only mathematical, of getting in the top 4. Kings Lynn winning 47-43 at Birmingham this evening, so Leicester will have to wait probably one more meeting to be absolutely sure. That was Max Frick winning Heat 13 with Sam Masters in 3rd place. 10-point lead for Leicester with 2 heats to go in Heat 14. A good start by Steve Worrell there in red. Turning back is Peter Kilderman in yellow. A great ride there by Kilderman down the inside into the 3rd bend, and Mitch McDermott now trying to follow him through. So Kilderman with the advantage at the end of the opening lap, and here goes McDermott tussling hard with Worrell. Almost contact there heading into the 2nd lap, and McDermott is a very impressive young rider. Watch out for him in the next year or so, because he's making big strides in the championship with the Oxford Cheetahs, and really handling the step up here with the Oxford Spires, guesting for the more senior side, and has worked his way all the way to the front of the race, past Steve Worrell, and actually past his teammate Peter Kilderman as well. What an impressive ride by Mitch McDermott, and this will be some consolation for the Oxford Spires, who aren't going to win the meeting, but they have certainly kept things very respectable indeed. They've had it tough against the Leicester big guns, but they have battled hard, and they're going to get something here out of Heat 14 with a super ride by Mitch McDermott ahead of his teammate Peter Kilderman. A 5-1 consolation for the Oxford Spires, and with 1 heat to go at Leicester, it is Leicester 45, Oxford 39.
We have one heat remaining here at Sheffield. It's a big heat, 15, but the Tigers have taken the win. It's been a convincing win over last year's champions, 51-33, with just heat 15 to go. Scotty is with the team managers.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. I'll come to Mark Lemon first. Mark, got to say it's a disappointing night for the Aces. Obviously, I'm sure you want to keep it closer than you have tonight. What's the chat going to be when you go away from here? Or is it going to get physical?
I don't know. There's obviously we've got to go to Ipswich on Thursday, so we're going to have to step up our away performances. If we're going to do anything come playoffs. Yeah, a little bit. I feel a little bit disappointed tonight because obviously you got our two guys, Dan and Brady, flying really high in confidence, and the rest of the team not so much. And you got to hit the dirt line here, and I don't think the boys have been punching enough. But that's tonight. We've got an aggregate point to consider, so I need Dan and Brady to do something again now.
Definitely. Well, just obviously it's pretty obvious who it was going to be in heat 15, but like you say, it's so important that you can come away with a heat advantage in heat 15.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously we got choice of gates, which helps, but the Holder boys aren't no slouches around here either.
No, they're not. So
if they're in the heat 15, I assume Jack's there probably.
Yeah, well, we'll soon find out, but if you can just confirm what gates and who you're going to be off with, please.
Yeah, we're going to take gates 2 and 4, and we'll have Brady Kersey in white off 2, and Dan Bewley in yellow off gate 4.
Right, thank you, Mark. Simon, a convincing win for the Tigers tonight. And were you kind of a little bit nervous, because obviously it's difficult to bring new riders in this late in the season, also it's such an important time of the season too?
I was nervous, to be honest, Scotty, because, like you said, integrating 2 new guys into the team. Obviously, Jai's not done any laps this year at Sheffield, and obviously Nick's not been able to come here for a couple of seasons. So, difficult one, especially against such a powerhouse team like Bellevue, with the way Brady and Dan in particular ride this place. So, really happy with how they've integrated into the team. I know Jai's a bit shy on points tonight, but it wasn't from lack of effort, and that's what we've needed.
Exactly, if they're putting 100% in, and Nick, obviously a good debut performance, and Pro Boys will probably need a massage, I reckon.
I can't watch him at the minute, but no, it's great. Look, can't fault any of them for effort. It was a complete team display tonight, and it's been a strong start to the month.
Okay, mate, thank you. And again, if you can just confirm your riders and gate positions for heat 15, please.
Yeah, well, we've got 1 and 3. Obviously, I'm going to go Chris Holder in red off gate 1 and Jack Holder in blue off gate 3.
Yeah, mate, thank you. Well, before heat 15 gets underway here, as they shake hands, just quickly hand over to Dave Rowe for an update at Leicester.
Well, Leicester's top-end power has proved all-important here at the Hydro-Scund Arena tonight against Oxford in Heat 13. Max Frick taking a win over Charles Wright, with Sam Masters dropping his first point of the meeting in 3rd place. But this is enough to put them 10 points in front and virtually secure victory on the night. And certainly Frick, Douglas and Masters have all been in high-scoring form this evening as Leicester close in on a place in the playoffs. It's not quite confirmed tonight because Kings Lynn have won at Birmingham by 47 points to 43, so it keeps things mathematically alive. That's really all it does, because Leicester are in full control of their playoff destiny, and their strong home form is continuing, certainly with the riders they've got, with Luke Becker on the way back from injury very, very shortly. Then they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the playoff. They got the 4-2 to go 10 points in front. There was some consolation for the Spires in Heat 14, a really good ride by Mitch McDermott, who's one to watch out for in the next year or so, taking a 5-1 with Peter Kilderman to at least get them on the board there with a decent result. And 14 hits gone, Leicester 45, Oxford 39.
Thanks, Dave. Well, the new football season is upon us. On Wednesday, Tottenham Hotspur, under the guidance of their new manager, Thomas Frank, face Champions League winners PSG in the UEFA Super Cup. And Aston Villa host Newcastle United in our first game of the new Premier League season. Join us at Villa Park Saturday from 11. Heat 15, though, and it's the big guns. It should be a great race. Over to you guys in commentary.
Thank you very much, Abby. Yeah, what a way to finish the night off. It's been the Tigers' evening, of course it has, but it's a mouth-watering race to look forward to here in heat number 15. Nobody's left, everybody's here. Summer holidays, beautiful evening. I mean, it's the warmest I've ever come here in 30 years. Nearly 30 degrees when I turned up. Incredible stuff, but really is a fantastic audience here tonight. Heat number 15, Chris Holder will start from the inside in the red helmet colour. Brady Kurtz out of gate number 2 in white. Jack Holder, his brother, will go from gate number 3 in blue, and Dan Bewley away from the outside in the yellow helmet colour. it's been a dominant performance from the home team, but as I say, with the aggregate points still up for grabs with the second leg back at the National Speedway Stadium, Bewley and Kurtz have still got a job to do here in Heat 15.
Yeah, they have indeed. It's up to them to try and limit the damage. A 5-1 here will help. And with the playoffs looming, they'll just be keen to leave here with a bit of a better feeling than they've currently got, I think.
Yeah, they was disappointing, of course. It probably stung a bit when the Ipswich Witches got the better of them in a super heat last week. They've got a tough week away here this evening. They unfortunately are not going to win here tonight. They've been beaten by the home team, and then they go to Ipswich Witches on Thursday as well, so Ipswich Witches will be fired up to try and get the better of the Bellevue Aces as well. So a tough week for the reigning champions, there's no question about that. As I say, they have there's plenty of fixtures to go actually before the playoffs get going. Damien Bates will be really pleased that the moves they've made in the market, as it were, have paid off. This has been an encouraging display by the Sheffield Tigers here this evening. Heat number 15, fabulous lineup. Which way is it going to go? And they go roaring into the first turn. Holder's just about got there. Round the outside, Jack Holder. Fantastic move from Bewley, but Bewley lives. That just kills his momentum. Kurtz has been relegated to the back. That was really untidy, actually, down the back straight. The winner of it all is Jack Holder, who is really fired up tonight. He gets himself to the front. Bewley giving chase in second place.
Yeah, like you say, an untidy first lap, and the benefactor of it all was Jack Holder. He's out in front now He's getting chased down by Dan Bewley, but I don't think anyone's catching Jack Holder tonight. Looks really fast and confident on that high, wide line, but Bewley's giving it a go as well. He's not going to let him rest with this last lap.
Two riders out in front, 5th and 4th in the world going at it here in Heat number 15. Holder back in second place. Look at that. That is breathtaking speed work out here in front by Holder and Bewley. Round the last corner in Heat number 15, and Jack Holder. He has had a night and a half. Bewley gave chase. I've got to say, Bewley really did turn on the start in second place, but although they didn't change places, by golly, those two were really at it in Heat number 15. They cleared off out in front. Kurtz was actually trailing in the back. It was Chris Holder who came through in third place. But there's no doubt that Jack Holder very determined to lower the colours of Dan Bewley in Heat number 15. That was stunning.
Yeah, it was a really good ride, and it'd be interesting to see that first lap back because so much happened on the first corner. It'd be interesting to see how he ended up with that lead again, but the Holder boys at the moment enjoying a celebratory lap on the back wheel.
20 points the difference, Ollie. Big win for the home team. Jack Holder out in front. Stunning ride. 3 points for him. Bewley giving chase in second place. 2 points, 1 point for Chris Holder in third, and Brady Kurtz misses out in Heat number 15. Got to say, Jack Holder has ridden very nicely this evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing this again.
Yeah, keep your eye on. Brady Kurtz makes a good start from gate 2. Jack Holder's there. Blue helmet colour on the outside. He heads to the outside. He gets around the outside of everyone on the first corner. I think that's Bewley in second place in the yellow helmet. He lifts across the first bend, nearly wipes out Chris Holder. Keep your eye on Dan Bewley here in the yellow helmet. Doesn't make a good start. Has a look over his shoulder, cuts back, moves across the inside. Then now the bike takes off. Superb bike control there, just to stay on it and not hit the fence, let alone hit any other riders. But that got him up into second. And after that, he set chase after Jack Holder and actually closed ground on him, but both boys really riding at the top of the game. You can see they're absolutely sending the bike into that deeper dirt on the outside.
Fantastic.
Look really confident.
It did indeed. Terrific speedway here tonight. It's been a commanding win, of course, for the home tie, but there's no doubt those two boys have gone brilliantly tonight. Now, the cabin master rider of the night is Leon Flint, and Ollie, I think fully deserved.
Absolutely, yeah. For the second time this season here at Sheffield, Leon Flint has been in sensational form. Excellent starts all night. Good speed, good track craft, so well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved indeed. Okay, Abby, down to you.
Yep, thank you, Calv. It has been a strong performance, another strong performance from Leon Flint and the Sheffield Tigers. Lots of the guys speaking to each other now, just in the camp. Lots of smiles, as Pico was saying. There's a good morale, a good spirit between them. and it has shown out on the track tonight. We are going to take a break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be speaking to a few of the riders. See you in a moment.
Heat 15 at the Hydroscand Arena with Leicester 6 points in front, heading in, and a competitive first turn indeed, with Ryan Douglas taking the advantage in blue, and Sam Masters turning back to the inside there to squeeze out Charles Wright, with Matsianowski going around the outside. But Leicester here on a 5-1 situation to try and complete the meeting on a high. It's Douglas with the lead, Masters in second place, it's Janowski and Wright in third and fourth, losing ground here for the Oxford Spies, who've certainly worked hard during the meeting, but it has been the Leicester top end strength which has proved very, very important. As Leicester have just won race after race throughout the meeting. Just the Janowski, McDermott and Tungate victories, just 3 for Oxford all evening. That's been the big difference, because Frick, Douglas and Masters have all scored very heavily indeed. And with this 5-1 in Heat 15, it could of course be important for the return fixture at Cowley later in the season, a couple of weeks' time, for that one to take place, with Leicester going for the aggregate points, trying to finish as high as they can in the table. Could be important for the playoffs come September time, but they've certainly got the job done at home with a 5-1 in Heat 15 from Ryan Douglas and Sam Masters, with that result over Matsianowski and Charles Wright. Douglas and Masters both scoring 15 plus 1 here, Frick scoring 12, Janowski top scorer for the Spires with 10, Kelderman scoring paid 12. Final score, Leicester 50, Oxford 40. Let's get some reaction.
Stuart Dixon, hard-fought victory for the Watling JCB Lions, but the boys came good in the end.
Yeah, as you say, it was a hard-fought victory tonight. Sometimes after the euphoria of a cup final, sort of thing, we've done really well. I'm not saying it wasn't the same energy in the stadium tonight, or from our riders, but we managed to get the win, which was important. Full credit to Oxford, because you've got to say that they came and gave us a tougher meeting than some other teams have gave us this season. So pleased to get the win in the end up, because I don't think it was ever in doubt, but at the same time we never got the lead that we were hoping to get, shall we say.
And important to get that 5-1 in the last, with the return at Cowley coming up.
100%, because 6 points getting into Heat 15, it could go either way. We got the gate choices. I think that was imperative on our part. Gates 1 and 3 were certainly better, and the guys rode well. They had a bit of a close one coming up the fourth bend, while I was watching the 2 Oxford riders as well, having a close one. So 2 races in 1, but it was with our teammates, if that makes any sense. But yeah, pleased to get the 5-1 in Heat 15. Gives us a 10-point cushion, a little bit more to go with to Cowley, yeah.
Safety, just to confirm, score and then standings and then Scott? Yeah. It was a commanding victory by the home side. They take the win this evening by 20 points. It really was an emphatic performance around this fast track at Owlerton Stadium. And this is what tonight's Speedway means in terms of the standings. Obviously, we go into the playoffs next month, and Ipswich Witches, they've already confirmed their place. They've raced 19 meetings, they've got 36 points. Behind them now, with Leicester taking the win this evening, they're on 32. Bellevue Aces in third on 32 with a loss tonight, and Sheffield Tigers just a point behind. They've still got some meetings in hand, those Sheffield Tigers. Right, let's hear from Leon Flint. He was a cabin master rider of the night, and he's with Scotty.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. So, yeah, Leon Flint is your cabin master rider of the night. Phil Morris, CEO, is going to hand you your award and your bottle of bubbly, mate. They are just riding absolutely fantastic right now. I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm just going to let you tell me how it's feeling.
Yeah, it's good. 2 and 2 now, so yeah, it's obviously good. Just making starts and feeling good on the bike.
your starts have been sensational like tonight, and especially around a place like this, because it can be a difficult place to pass. It's definitely a confidence track. So when you line up at the start and you're feeling good and confident making the start, that's a huge bonus.
Oh, definitely. Just found something that seems to be working, and yeah, even in that last one, you know, having to ride the inside for a few laps, I felt pretty vulnerable, but then I watched the video back and actually had a decent bit of speed. So yeah, it's all good, you know, scoring the points now, but it all counts in the next couple of weeks for the playoffs.
Oh, it certainly does. Could you explain to the viewers at home, like you just said there, you feel a little bit vulnerable. Sheffield, it's because it's such a fast track, and like you said, it's wide, so if you don't feel like you've got that acceleration off the corner, you feel like somebody can pounce. But that dirt line, it's pretty demanding, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, you know, when the dirt's there, ideally you want to be in it, but luckily, you know, we found something that was working pretty well. I did my normal kind of thing with the setup for Heat 4, and today it didn't work. It was just a bit too flat off the corner, but you know, I think you could see that there was a little bit more on it than what it has been the last couple of weeks. So we know that for next time, maybe not to do that. But overall, I can't grumble too much, because that was the only error of the night.
Mate, I certainly wouldn't be grumbling if I was in your shoes, mate. Well done. Keep it going. Abby, back to you.
Scott, thank you. We're now joined by Brady. Brady, this is a tough track to come to. You and Dan were superb, but some of the other guys in the team just not, this is Mark Lemon's words, not mine, but just not attacking the dirt enough.
Yeah, Sheffield's a very tough track to come to. If you're a little bit down on confidence, it's a even tougher place. And yeah, it's never been our strong track, that's for sure. We've never had too much success here my entire time at Bellevue, I don't think so. Yeah, it's another tough one for us, and yeah, I think we all tried to learn as much as we could and try and find something working in case we come back for the playoffs. So hopefully the boys did learn what they did wrong or right or whatever, and yeah, all we can do is try and focus on the home match now.
And you've got to put this behind you quite quickly, because, as Lemo said, you've got Ipswich this week as well. So some big meetings coming up, and it is the business end of the season.
Yeah, very tough week for us, but yeah, Ipswich is another one that we've struggled at in the past, but a few of us had a lot of good matches there before, so hopefully today can maybe fire us up a little bit, and yeah, we could really do with a win there.
Brady, thank you for chatting. Let's hear from Jack Holder now. He's with Scott.
Thanks, Abby. Yeah, Jack, you certainly meant business tonight, convincing win by the Tigers, but week in, week, it's difficult to get the track exactly the same. You were saying earlier the track was possibly a little bit heavier than normal. How much is confidence a factor in us like that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, everyone knows Sheffield, you've got to be on the fence. And yeah, tonight we had a lot more dirt than normal. And yeah, she had a bit of toe in it. And, you know, when you're pretty much, you know, kissing the airbag, it's, yeah, no, can't make an error, that's for sure.
No, you can't. And obviously, yeah, that's where I feel like the confidence comes into it, because, you know, we don't have gears. So you've got to kind of make a choice. Obviously, you want the bike to be electric from the start, but sometimes that can make it difficult to ride on the track. So you were making good starts tonight, difficult bike to ride on the track. So, but you rode exceptionally, like you said about the dirt line, you were kind of just skimming the airbags.
Yeah, it's you definitely, you know, you want to try and get out them starts, but, you know, as everyone knows, the starts here are pretty woeful, so it's quite difficult. But yeah, you know, I've done plenty of laps around here, and yeah, I don't mind going out there. I can sort of do it without an issue, but I definitely don't like doing it for, you know, them Heat 13s and Heat 15s, you know, with 4 top boys. You know, we're all going for that little inch that's on the airbag, and yeah, just got to get the head down and go.
It is, and when you're making those choices, it's a case of, you know, when you're setting the bike up for the start and it's making it difficult to ride, that's when it comes into the play where you get that first one good lap and then you can settle into it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head pretty much. Yeah, you know,
I just can't do it.
You're good around the small ones. I can't do what you do around them. But yeah, you know, it's, as I said, it's confidence, and I've done a few years around here, and yeah, I know what's the score around here.
Okay, mate. Well, thank you. Well done tonight. Good luck with the next one. Abby, over to you.
Hey, Scotty, what about that? Jack Calder's saying you're good around the small tracks. Take it, take it. Now, I'm with Anders Rowe, and I was just thinking, Anders, which was the heat that you were exceptional in? And I realised I highlighted it because you lowered the colours of Kurtz. And, yeah, he's no slouch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a really good race for me, and yeah, I had gate 1, and I always sort of know if I get gate 1 or even 2 in heat 1 that I've got a good chance of getting there if I make a good start. So yeah, I did it, and yeah, luckily we got the win, and yeah, we won as a team as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, and Pico said it as well. There's a real team feeling, and even more impressive considering the changes.
Yeah, definitely. The boys coming in tonight, and this is their first home meeting, and yeah, they did really well, and yeah, it's good team atmosphere. It's really fun to be racing for Sheffield, so yeah, it's really good fun.
And you say it's fun. How fun is it when you're out in the dirt? Because it's not for the faint-hearted, this track.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit like, oh, I don't want to go too wide, but yeah, it's really good, and it's good to learn. Like, this is my first season at Sheffield, and it's good to learn to be that close to the fence and know you got confidence in yourself, but also the other riders as well that are racing you. So yeah, it's good, and I prefer the outside to the inside now. So yeah, I'm liking it.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Thank you so much for chatting. Safe journey back. We're going to take one final break. When we come back, I'll ask Scott Nichols your question. That hashtag, it is SheBelle. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Sheffield. I have to say, the Ben2 Barmy Army in full voice, and rightly so, because their team have just beaten the defending champions by 20 points. It was an absolutely dominant win this evening. And there's more world-class cricket tomorrow as Australia and South Africa lock horns once again in the second T20 at midday. We're back in Jeddah for the spectacular Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters, where the last 32 battle on the bays. Plus, there's cycling to look forward to with the start of the Women's Tour of Poland. And don't miss the third one-day international between the West Indies and Pakistan, live from Trinidad and Tobago. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Mark your card for the 25th of August, when Oxford and Kings Lynn go wheel-to-wheel at the Oxford Stadium. But look at the Barmy Army. They are passionate, to say the least, Scotty.
Oh, they certainly are. They've got every reason to cheer, haven't they? Hopefully they'll stop in a minute, because I can't hear you properly. But yeah, look at that. Ben2 Barmy Army.
Now, look, I promised that I would roll over some of your questions from last week. So this is the first. This is from Terry Wenman, FBPE. Do the GP riders, Kurtz, Bewley and Doyle, use the same machinery in a league match?
A lot of the boys for the Grand Prix will use their kind of Polish equipment, so it's very similar. The bikes, everything will be the same, but you know, for some of the smaller tracks over here, they may use a slightly different, same engine but slightly different setup. But ultimately, you want to ride the same stuff week in, week out.
Yeah. Stuart Bell, thank you always for your questions. Is it harder, Scotty, riding a technical track like Plymouth or Leicester than riding a fast track like Belle Vue or Sheffield?
I think it's down to your skill set. Some people, like you see it tonight, some people naturally feel more accustomed to kind of letting the bike run, going up to the fence and not turning the bike as hard, and others I prefer the small technical ones, and I think that's what I've grown up on as well. So I'm really sitting on the fence there, but that's just, you know, it's no different to a sprint or a marathon runner. It's what you're kind of accustomed to.
Yes. Who is the rider in modern day speedway who you would least like to ride against?
Oh God, there's a few. Like Nicky Pedersen, we had some awesome battles, but yeah, some proper ding dongs. But no, no one springs to mind other than the Panto villain.
You're being very diplomatic.
I am. I've got to potentially race them at some point. Haven't I?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they were impressive tonight, Tigers. How much of a mark have they just laid down?
I think they've put a big marker in the sand, and I know I use the word confidence a lot, but this track really is like that. It's an intimidating place. It's probably the most intimidating track in the country, really. And you can see that home boys, it's just a case of, you know, it's not much, but just riding that little bit foot wider makes such a difference. And you can see a lot of the Bellevue boys, no disrespect to them, but just weren't on the ball.
No, Mark Lemon said it, and he just needed some more gutsy performances out there. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time in Oxford, but from here at Sheffield, the Tigers just roared around their home track.